Charlie, okay, 74.
A Darling out.
Darling out, yes. And Roach, he 5's out as well. Roach and Darling.
You want to play as per?
Well, I thought Jared Neal was a late in, but not me to try and...
Is it on here?
I actually didn't even look at that. I thought we should have.
Jared Neal is in 29. Let's see who's out. The other side is Crelly in 16.
Yep.
Deverell 37. Deverell 21. Gowing Gibbons 3. Garrett 28. Gibbons 13. Gibbons 35. Will Wilson 3. Hoffman 20. Mar 36. May 50.
Hoff's not there either.
Hoff in 20. Mar 36. May 50. Neil 29. Payton 51. Roach Jake 2. Lucan 4. Rumble 11. Smith 19. Sorensen 7. Turner 6. Bow 31. Walsh 14.
Yep.
Warner in 2. So who's missing? Reimer.
Riley Warren is 7. Sorry,
Riley Warner's at 8.
Yeah, sorry. Yep.
So Marty Reimer's out of that list.
Yeah, Marty's not there.
I forgot my mouse guard. They're good, but I was so worried about
There's still going to be one more.
Carla played.
Feel that ball, boys. Not like sirens. Yeah, I just didn't want to knock. I just didn't want to knock it. Okay. Don't knock them out. Okay. Yeah. I can do that. I can not do that. When did we start? Was it?
Next minute, 60 seconds if you 60 seconds.
Gentlemen.
Very good afternoon and welcome to Fayen Oval in Warners Bay on a magnificent Newcastle afternoon for this very important Black Diamond Cup fixture between Terrigal Avoca, the visitors, and hosts Warners Bay. Kendall Clawson's our EP. Our chief commentator is Lucas Holmes. My name is David Redden. Lucas Holmes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Great afternoon, as you said here, David. An old boys' day for the Warners Bay Australian Football Club as well, as the toss is just taking place in the middle between Jason Van Dam and Luke Roach. And Terrigal Avoca will be running to your left of screen. Terrigal Avoca right to left, as you'll see on your beautiful pictures this afternoon, courtesy of Bar TV Sports.
The Terrigal Avoca Football Club, 1 Matt Shortall, 2 Corbin Bond, 4 Kurt Fleming, 7 Josh Polglaze, 9 Jack Grimmond, 10 Peter Van Dam, 75 Corey Billings, James Hart 13, Brendan Harper 14, Nathan Belvin 15, William Dillahunty 17, Jason Van Dam 21, Thomas Creswell 26, Jai Turner 27, Sam Shipley 30, Lockie White 41, Luke Bury 48. Actually, that's not right. Did you get a number change, Lucas, for... I thought Lachlan White might have gone to 31. You have the sheets.
2 seconds,
check
David.
that, please, for me. Luke Bury 48, Chris Bishop 50, Jared Flint 60, Ethan Formby 24, Liam Townsend 51, and Ian Tiley in 74. I'm sure that Lachlan White had gone to 31.
But that doesn't mean that we're working together, but yeah.
Lucas will just confirm that for us. So Lachlan White is definitely, Lucas, in 31. So viewers, Lachlan White in 31, that's not a problem. And over to Lucas Holmes to the Warners Bay Football Club.
Warners Bay Australian Football Club, 2 Jake Roach, 4 Luke Roach, 6 Nick Turner, 7 Ryan Sorensen, 8 Riley Warner, 11 Sam Rumble, 13 Sam Gibbons, 14 Dylan Walsh-Hall, 16 Alexander Crelly, 19 Jeremy Smith, 21 Lachlan Deverill, 28 Cooper Garrett, 31 Leo Vo, 35 Kane Gibbs, 36 Elliot Marr, 37 Corey Deverill, 50 Jared May, 51 Donald Patton, 53 Jack Downing, 63 Oliver Gilmore, late ins David, 29 Jared Neal, and 20 Tim Hoff.
Our umpires today in the centre, Ryan Stanton, Dave Parsons and Tal Stewart. Boundary umpires, Jeff Gambrell on the 300 gamer, Colin Goodenough, and our goals today, Nellie Biden and Rachel Goodenough. Just about ready to rock and roll here. Players switching ends. And as Lucas Holmes said, Terrigal Avoca going to be running actually left to right, not right to left. Looking at that with Jack Downing going back, Sam Rumble. This is the one area that I think that Warners Bay can be exposed to touch, Lucas, without Lincoln Stewart there. Is dark, tall forwards. Very interesting to see how they go today. Really can't wait for this game. Yes, can I have a water, please, Louisa? Thank you. And as has been the case for the last 2 months, our chief commentator on Bar TV for Black Diamond Cup games anyway. I tend to get the women's games because Lucas is elsewhere at times. Lucas James Holmes in chief commentary. My name's David Redden. I'm the host of the show, and I'm now going to hand over to our chief commentator, Lucas Holmes, ladies and gentlemen.
And here we go, David. Peter Van Dam in the middle. Parsons is going to bounce, and he does. Not a bad start too. Patton. Van Dam gets that one over the top. Who's going to swoop over the back? Handball there is Roach. Roach is there, so is Deverill. Sorensen swooping. Great tackle there. Pressure applied. Belbin's in and under. He gets the ball now. Creswell gets a scrubby left-footed kick. It works going forward now. Over the back there is Crelly, tracking the ball towards the boundary line. Crelly will use the boundary line as a safety net, and we'll get a boundary throw in. In the early doors of this game, as you alluded to earlier, Old Boys Day here for the Warners Bay Australian Football Club. And Patton, haven't seen much of him this year, David. Will take the ruck now with Polglaze in the forward line. Belbin tracked easily, gets a nice short left foot kick.
Corey Billings
in front of that. Looks like Billings it is in 75. Spent most of his year in the plate competition as well. And Billings does what all good forwards should do and marks in front. And we'll have a shot from about 30 or 35 metres out from goal, David.
Got to love it when one-point players come back in the side in the second half of the season, Lucas Holmes, especially with Terrigal only having 30 points to play with.
Very accomplished junior player, Billings. A slow approach. Goal umpire works left, and that's where it stays. First score of the game, Terrigal Avoca 1 point, leading Warners Bay. No score with about a minute and a half gone here. Match of the week, round 16.
It is now such a lovely day that players are going to have to. Tori Coburn got a cramp in the women's game just before us, looking at the fourth quarter. They're going to have to manage their fluid intake. It is very warm, and look, we've got sun cream on here. That's how warm it is in our backs here at Fay Oval. Glorious day in the Lake Macquarie district.
Looks like Kurt Fleming's playing jumper number 3, not 4 as well, David. From the look of that there, he's just in front of us here.
Okay, thank you. So, taking over number 3.
Of course, James Webster not playing part in this season, injured knee. Downing with a kick out, goes long and high, 2 in front of us. Van Dam's got size advantage, can't quite use it though. Ducks inside this pole glaze, gets hit late, but fair apparently. Downing playing half back roll, which would suit him, is run and carry. And there'll be a boundary throw in deep inside forward 50. Terrigal Avoca's attacking end, taken over there by Billings.
I'll keep you up. I'll have the update sheet going for you, Lucas, whenever you want to break halfway through a quarter. How lads are you, darling? Good to see you.
Boundary throw in here. Bishop's front and centre as he so often does. Here's Patton. Can he get the ball out? He does. Tracks back to Bishop. Creswell there. Gets a short, scrappy kick out. Van Dam's waiting in the back. Neal gets one here. May's front and centre should take that one on his chest and does. May. Options are plenty. Goes for that 45 kick into the corridor. Not a bad option when you've got Nick Turner there. He in turn goes to the outer side. They've got some run and carry here. Here's Warner in his second game back from that horrific injury we had on Anzac Day, David.
Yep.
Inside forward 50. Mark taken there. We were just talking hard earlier.
He blew the whistle a touch early there, didn't he, Lucas?
He did, unless it was for a free kick off the ball. Hard goes to Van Dam. He can chip to Creswell if he wants. Ignores him.
Harper in front of us.
Here we go. Harper. Easy mark taken. Uncontested.
Interesting to watch Sam Rumble zone off in there. He let him. He didn't go the contest. He stayed behind the ball, Lucas.
Uses his hands. Legally, maybe. Questionably does Sorensen.
I think that was a push in the back, Lucas, to be fair.
Rumble's there if he would like him short. Sorensen. Chipping ball short to Turner. You can go square again to Downey if you would like. Polglaze is there zoning off as well. Short there. That was high. Not paid. Play on Smith. Oh, I thought it was high as well, David, but we play on. Neal in and under. His first few games in first grade as well. Billings along the back onto his trusty left side. We'll switch to the outer side. Here's the run and carry of Creswell. As we alluded to before, left footers are plenty in this Terrigal Avoca side. Not very accurate this time in the end and taken by Gibbons. Very reliable backman, Sam Gibbons. He will look for the switch, and that's where he goes. It's risky to Roach. Van Dam tries to use his presence in there. Can't quite get there. Loses his feet as Roach, and he'll get a high contact free kick. We'll take the advantage, Roach. Spears a beautiful ball in there to Marr. Interesting day for long sleeves, but that's how it is. Marr dropped Mark there.
Corey Deverell just off in front of us with a sore right shoulder, Lucas Holmes, and it's strapped, so let's hope he's okay.
It's a big one because you think he'd go to Jack Grimman for that speed as well. David be Turner or Deverell for that speed on Grimman. They go high inside forward 50. Overpowering is Van Dam. Belbin's at the bottom. He gets it off the second ball, off the opportunity. Does he get there? No, he doesn't.
That's remarkable defensive work. Whoever that player is right on the ground, I can't see his number.
Lachlan Deverell, David.
Lachlan Deverell absolutely saved a goal, Lucas Holmes.
Looks a bit worse for wear as well. Jack Downing once again taking the kick out. Goes to his non-dominant side and will straighten to his right boot. Goes long and high. Who's he looking for? Turner's at the back, which is an interesting one. Gets hands to it but can't quite take the mark. Wide at the bottom of the ball. So is Shipley. There's a Turner's Downing back play as well, Dave, which isn't a good sign. Very tough customer is Nick Turner. Polglaze switches the ball inside. Mars come back to help. Does very well. Predominantly plays as a half-back, Mars, so interesting to see him play forward. They run and carry Warner's Bay out of the back half. Except, Roach tries to take a hanger. Probably could have been interference. Wasn't paid. Sorensen now. They get the intercept mark. In low ball. Who's forward here? Gibbs. Playing out of the square. Gibbs runs forward. Terrigal Avoca will look to run and carry. Van Dam, the drop of the football. Trying to use that boundary on the outer side. Warner tries to keep it in. Gibbs uses his body. 3-on-1 here. How well does Gibbs do? He does well. However, he turns it over. Terrigal Avoca are trying to attack the corridor now. Belvin switches it to the outer side towards us. They've got time here. Could have a bounce if you would like. Ignores that, goes short. Leads up the mark, not taken. Here can Warners Bay counter, they can. Smith on his left side to May. May does well to keep it in front, ducks his head, so that'll be play on. He's in trouble now, Jared May.
Nick Turner in all sorts, Lucas Holmes, cannot put pressure on his left leg and is being carried off at the moment. What they should do is carry him off over the line. If he gets carried off, he can come back. I know he mightn't be, no, he's going to go through the interchange. He should be carried off. As long as he's carried off, he's fine.
And Riley Warner's just come off with the attendance of Kevin Roach as well, David, so there's injuries are plenty here.
And Corey Devill's gone back out. Turner's gone through the gate, so he'll come back. He's sore, and I very much doubt he's going to be back. Corey Devil back on the ground.
Short pass from Jeremy Smith. Wheels around on his right boot. Now headgearless for the moment, Corey Devil. Goes long and high. Who can he find? Who's at the back? Gilmore's there. So is Garrett. And being gang tackled there is Patton. And we'll have a ball up. About 7.5 minutes gone here in this first quarter. Terrigal leading with 2 points. Down to May. It shrugs a high tackle, which you'll get the free kick for May. Lively customer is Jared May. Goes long inside forward 50. Nice and direct. Over the top that time of Gibbs. Playing out of the square as we said before. Terrigal Avoca will sweep this one up to White. Half-back flank. Goes short in board. Founds Delahunty. Gilmore aggressively manning the mark. Goes back to White. Takes one bounce as White in front of us here. Goes in board. Who's there? Rumble. Takes that on his chest. Plays on. Goes short. Here's Vo. Deverell's running around if he would like to use him. Vo ignores that, or he could go back there eventually. Ignores him once more. Goes long and high. Does Vo. Mark taken. Gets nudged under the ball that time and intercept mark taken. Terrigal Avoca will like to run and carry here. Looking to the boundary. Bury's there. Gets overshot. Does Bury, and Jeremy Smith takes an intercept mark. Will go that 45 kick into the corridor. Deverell looks to be moving all right after that right shoulder issue early, David. Deverell goes long. Garrett's undermanned now, undersized. They've got a 2-on-1 at the drop of the football. Can they work this out? They can. One handball, two handball, short kick into the corridor, picked off by Deverell. That's 3 touches in the last half a minute for Corey Deverell. We'll go short on a lead. Not taken there to the outer side. Or was it taken on the second attempt?
I thought that was a mark, Lucas Holmes.
It was Patton. Could have taken it on the second attempt. Umpire said no. Fleming. Jukes inside. Goes long, down the line. Mark all over him, not paid for holding. Rumble zoned off again. Kick off the ground, goes down the line. Gibbons leading the chase. We'll try and duck out of this tackle from Grimmond, which sees him goes over the boundary line in front of the newly installed light post here at Fane Oval, David, which is great to see. Both.
Lucas, I've just seen number 3, and there's a 34 out there. We don't have 34. I'm confident that Kurt Fleming... Yeah, I reckon there's some issues with numbering here. I'm sure that Kurt Fleming's gone to 34.
Okay.
We might have to catch up with that later on. Have you got the team sheet there for
I
me,
have.
mate? I'll get that at quarter time. We'll wait. Is it in this one here?
I've got it here.
Okay, just give that to me, and I'll just check those numbers out, okay?
I've got a few sheets there.
Yeah, you go. You concentrate on that.
Thank you. Back to this boundary throw-in.
Okay, so just for our viewers, it's Jai Turner is in number 3. Jai Turner in 3. We had him as 27. He's not 3. And Fleming is listed here in 4 on this sheet. But I am sure that Kurt Fleming is playing in 34, Lucas. We'll come back to that when we get an opportunity when they're closer to us.
Sorry about those late number changes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody.
Back to another boundary throw-in with Colin Goodenough. Bury and Patton. Give that one to Bury, left hand down, in and under. Belbin's in there. Can he extract the football? It doesn't look like he will be able to. And on that point, Ryan Stanton calls for the football. Flint's there. May's just sitting off this one as well. Down goes Bury again. Belbin's in and under. Great spin move there by Belbin. Former Bathurst Bushranger. In under there is Bishop. Goes this time to Flint. Goes a left scrubby kick down the line. Deverell patrolling that half-back flank as he so often does and does very well. Goes long down the line, looking for Garrett. Goes out of bounds in front of him.
And just while we're on that, Orange Tigers Old Boys Day as well today up there in Orange today. I hope all the boys, Steve Mays, an Orange Old Boy. And, of course, Joey Hull, who used to be one of the first grade coach at the Orange Football Club. He's the father-in-law of Nathan Belbin, Lucas Holmes. So, g'day, Joey, if you're listening. Hope you're well, mate. Absolute legend player, Indigenous man, and played football in bare feet his whole career. And just a superb player, Joey Hull. So, if you're listening, Joey, and everybody in Orange, cheerio.
Another ball up here. Patton and Bury exchange once more. In and under, Neal's there. Can he apply the pressure? He can't quite. Knocked out of here. He should take that mark in his chest and does.
And Harper's exposing Rumble for a bit of height, Louis. Oh, that's brilliant.
And that's Delahunty. Right near the junction of the 50-metre arc. That's where the mark will be. Let's see what they can do here. Terrigal Avoca making a mountain of changes at the moment. Fairly warm conditions. And have a great view of this. Delahunty shot on goal from Kendall's camera. We'll have to start this on the right goal post. And that's where he starts. It's going to hold its line. It looks like it's going to, except it's going to drop short. They're going to have a scramble here. Ryan Sorensen's at the drop of the football. Can't quite keep his feet. Someone who can there is Jack Grimmond. Handball goes back inside. This is treacherous football. Speaking of Grimmond, he's got the ball now! That's a point. Too excited for my own good there.
Well, I can't sit here and possibly give you criticism about that. I've been doing exactly the same thing for 4 years, so it would be pot kettle, and I'm not a hypocrite. That's been restrapped from Riley. Let's just hope that his knee's okay. Riley Warner with restrapping on his right knee, which is the troublesome one. Luke Roach sat and didn't fly, interestingly. Corey Devil in there, Smith's in there. Back come Bell. There's Luke Roach making every effort. Harper, one effort, two effort. Corey Devil's trying to get a stoppage. Eventually does. Good whistle by Parsons there. Let that go. A la Lucas Holmes earlier today when he let him go in the plate. Off comes Bond and White comes on. I'm sure that Kurt Fleming's in 34, but we'll just wait and see. Lovely hands come out. Vo. Bishop just get rid of him. No, I don't think it was downfield. It was Tiggy Touchwood. Formby square. Spots his man. Out there to Creswell on his natural left. Over there to Shortle in one. Jake Roach comes hard. Shorts him up a bit. Is that Crelly over there at 16, Louis?
It is.
Alex Crelly settling down in the back line. Jake Roach over there, centre wing. You haven't called his name too much today, but he's such an important player. Playing in front of his father today, and one of the legend old boys of this football club, his name Kevin Roach. Wide. Formby's got time. And this is new player Tyler here, we haven't seen before. Goes straight down the wing. Harper and Rumble. Harper's had his number earlier today. Rumble comes back hard. Good tackle, Rumble! Excellent tackle, Rumble. Lucas Holmes.
On the vastly experienced Peter Van Dam, David. Great tackle there from Rumble. Over the back here. He gets punched out. Chaos ball in the middle. Speaking of chaos, and Leo Vo loves it. Shipley traps the ball, goes to the outer side. Handball once more in the middle. Van Dam on his trusty left boot goes to centre wing. Creswell on his natural left footer. Goes wide to Polglaze. Picks the ball up. Polglaze will most likely wheel around on that right boot. Holds the ball up for a second now. Will be called to move it shortly and does. Goes spearing low and picked off there by Sam Gibbons deep in the back line for Warners Bay.
Just for viewers, Kurt Fleming is definitely in 34, everybody. So definitely we were given a bit of a bum steer there. Do apologise. But we're only as good as the information we're given. Kurt Fleming in the 34. Speak of the devil, no, that's Della. Shortle. You can hear the high-pitched voice of Pete Van Dam. Shortle just off balance. Rumble's dragged his man out of that. Somehow hasn't given away a free kick. And Ryan Stanton, the prime possum, will call this ball up. It's a dangerous area for a ball up, Lucas Holmes. Over to you.
Thank you. Deep inside Terrigal Avoca's attacking 50. Up the ball goes. Down in there. Evades one tackle, can't quite get rid of it. Deverell goes for the smother. That's not going to be a mark. It's not going to be 15. Rumble goes with the spin move, gets smothered out of the way. Belbin's in and under there. Waiting at the back of the pack there. It looks like a goal. Is that White off the back?
Yeah, it's running right here. It's a play getting high fives now. It's either White or Fleming. He's right, still in the middle of this group. Fleming. So Kurt Fleming, 34. Strangely enough, we get his number first, of course. So he's listed here in 4, but he's not. He's 34. The score, Lucas Holmes. Terrigal Avoca 1-3-9. Warners Bay yet to score. With thanks to our sponsors Hunter Havel and Brian Hinton Havel at North Gosford. Belmont 16-footers. ISC. awards are us, CFM 101.3 FM. Lucas James Holmes.
Sure are, David. Valued sponsors of this terrific football league here on the Central Coast. Mr. Kane Gibbs waiting his turn to go back into the forward line. Chris Bishop marshalling his troops from the sideline.
I think Kane Gibbs might be going onto the ball somehow, Lucas Holmes.
We get the nod as well.
And the big Kanye.
Van Dam back to Shortall. We've seen that combination millions of times before. Goes low to Harper. He's proven a handful early, rather. Switches it up as Harper. Goes to the outer side to Creswell. He's had some touches early as well. Creswell will go short and direct inside forward 50. Grimmond on the lead. Picked off there, though. Goes long and high. I think that was Sorensen that time. Garrett, 1-on-1. He's now got a 2-on-1 to deal with. One of those being Van Dam. Goes back to his brother and Jason. Goes low to the outer side. Shortall's leading the chase for this one. In front of Smith. Deverell does very well. Corey that time to make a contest of it. Gets picked up and goes long and high inside forward 50. At the back there is Tiley. Can't quite get there. Gibbons expertly roves. In fact, it was Downing. Downing goes low. Marr can't quite take the mark. Harassed, gets it out now. There's Marr. They're going to switch this ball through the corridor. Here's Delahunty. May can pick this one off, can he? Can't quite get there to Lockie White, or is he dragged out of it? Play there was dragged out of it. They're going to Van Dam. Gets the ball back onto the fall.
Turner gone on ice. Ankle thinks he's hurt an Achilles, and he's gone for the day, Lucas, on ice with his shoes and socks off.
That's a big one. Nick Turner not coming back for the rest of the day. Mark taken there. Turner will switch in board. Goes over the head of Jason Van Dam. There's some more issues on the Warners Bay bench as well.
Oh, Rumble's cut. Rumble's got a cut on the right side of his head, and he's struggling.
Looks like that from information from Craig Welsh, he's split his head open. So injuries are plenty early here at Fane Oval. However, Gibbons gets this one out, looking for Patton, overshoots him. Finds Bishop. What does Bishop do? Sets out to the top of the square, does Bishop. They've got a 2-on-1 there if they can make the most of it. They can't. Gibbons makes his way from the outer side, goes long. 1-on-1 here. Can they trap this ball in? They can. He's Smith. Very nimble on his feet. Goes back to Marr. Will step inside and use that right foot of his. Looking for Garrett inboard. Can't quite get there. Shipley's wearing him like a glove. And we'll get the ball out of bounds on the far side, almost centre wing.
Looks like a cut over the right eye, Lucas, judging by where that blood's coming from. It's quite graphic. Sam Rumble is really struggling. He is no wuss. So he's in a bad way at the moment. He's got a significant cut over his right eye. And Kevin Wright is taking him straight off. So, really bad one there in front of. Let's hope that Sam's okay. Significant cut over his, looks to the right side of his head or above the right eye, Lucas. So it'll take a while to get him right, I'd suggest. If he's right at all, there'll be an HIA coming, I'd imagine. And back to Lucas.
Deverell gets that one out. Picked up there by Jason Van Dam. Sweeping right handball. They've got loads of running carry off this halfback flank, as we so often see. That's a bit of a scrubby kick coming out. Luke Roach not quite leading the chase. Gets a nice body on. Oh, that's Polglaze with the glove on his right hand. Luke Roach fires up the ball. And we'll see the ball out of bounds right in front of the interchange gate here for Warners Bay. Been a lively 20 minutes here in this opening quarter. Black Tom Cup fixtured round 16 here. Fane Oval. Warners Bay, Terrigal, Avoca. Old Boys Day here for the Warners Bay Australian Football Club. Ball up straight in front of us here. Can't quite get the tap down to Walshaw. White gets taken high briefly. Not seen. Of the tackle of Jared Neal. And we'll have a secondary ball up here. Tom Stewart with the ball. Gibbs now playing ruck and probably a bit of ruck rover as well. Bishop does great to tap that ball down. Didn't take full possession and didn't have to. Hoff taken off the ball legally. Shortall uses the inside out of his right boot, and there's a play there unmarked. It might be Harper. He's been causing havoc all day early. Bury goes inside. Here's Creswell running into an open goal. Goal takes one bounce and slots it through. Thomas Creswell with a goal.
Isn't it fascinating to watch them create open men and create space? Warners Bay wounded at the moment. They're now down 2 men. Tim Hoffsmith, they've got to go back out there. He's got Shortall for company. But now Warners Bay at the moment down to 20 men. But it's just fascinating to see them run and carry, as you just alluded to so beautifully. They create so much off half-back. Even in a big long ground like this, they're creating all that space, Lucas. It's fascinating to watch them go about it. It really is. From a football purist perspective, it's just amazing to watch them.
And they're a class outfit, and they have been for a number of years now, under the tuition of the master coach, Chris Bishop.
Indeed. You can't have a snake because you're calling, so you can have a snake at quarter time, big fella.
I can. Back to the middle. Great to see David Parsons trying to perfect that art that is bouncing, that is very, very hard to do. Gibbs down. Can't quite get Roach. Jared May's gone in the middle. Speaking of Roach, now here he is. Low-sparing ball. Speaking of football purist, not much better than that, and finds Cooper Garrett on the lead. Warners Bay Jr. Natural left-footer too, Cooper Garrett. And you can see he's just on the edge of the square now, so we'll take this kick from about 45 metres out. Little to no angle to speak of.
Brendan Thomas in the runner's uniform. They couldn't have fit him with points. Garrett got it.
Goal to Cooper Garrett. First one of the day for the Warners Bay Football Club. Now trailing one straight 6 to Terrigal Avoca's 2-3-15.
Brendan Thomas in a runner's uniform.
He hasn't played for a few weeks, I don't think, David. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he didn't play last week either.
Okay.
So maybe some niggling injuries.
His points aren't what they were. He might be a 2 or 3 point player. I don't think he's a 5. I think Belbin's one of their highest pointed players.
He's a 4.
Belbin is okay. Crowley's a 4.
Yep.
Crowley played last year for Leeton. In the AFL Riverina, my friend, the Leeton Witten Crows, who play at Mark Taylor Oval in Leeton.
Back to the middle we go. Gibbs with that left hand down. Bursting through the middle is Luke Roach this time. Inside forward 50. Jake Roach has gone to full forward, or that might be Gilmore actually.
No, I thought that was Jake. Gilmore's there on the side. It's Jake. There you go. Oh, it's on now. James Harding to Jake Roach. Not exactly handbags at 10 paces. Out there from Walsh Hall, Lucas.
It does. Quick, crubby kick off the ground. It should come straight back in, though. Warners Bay should have the wall set up, and it does. Smith pulls the kick at the last minute. Great execution there to Jared May. And Jared May will go quickly again into the pocket. Who's there? Looks like Corey Deverell, and it is.
Well, Lucas, I can't tell from the angle we're at is exactly where the 50 is. I would have thought this will stretch Corey Deverell for distance. Sam Rumble's getting patched up, Lucas. And I don't think he's finished for today. There goes this Hannibal Lecter strapping. So looks like there's a chance that Sam Rumble may be back today, Louis.
He might pull this hit to the top of the square, Corey Deverell. And that's what he does. No one's sitting in the slot particularly, so there's a pack mark and it's taken over the back.
No, it's
Riley Warner.
Rest and fairish at the Warners Bay Football Club in 2018, Riley Warner.
Great.
He has been sorely missed, hasn't he?
It's great to see that spring back in that knee. That newly strapped knee, actually, so maybe having a bit of complications there, but great to see him back, donning the red, white and blue once again.
Warners Bay physio Anna's been very busy this quarter. She's had 3 wounded players to deal with. She's got one back out there, and Warner Rumble's not far away. And Nick Turner, sadly, for Warners Bay and for Nick Turner, who will not be back today. He's on ice already.
Riley Warner should make the formality of this. Punches it through. Warners Bay second in quick succession. Now trailing 2 straight 12 to Terrigal Avoca's 2-3-15.
And we thank our sponsors, Central Coast Sports Physiotherapy, Tyre Power, Bar TV, and Subway Morissette. Subway, Lucas Holmes.
Eat fresh. Do indeed. We'll have to Subway Morissette play the match later in this game.
And that is massive, that last goal. That's the quarter-time siren. So at the quarter-time break, 2 late goals to Warners Bay in the 22nd and 25th minute have made a massive difference to that quarter. Terrigal Avoca 2-3-15, Warners Bay 2 straight 12. Look, it's a pretty good opening quarter, really.
It has been pretty end-to-end. Warners Bay will need this quarter-time break to reassess from where their injuries have taken them. Would have had to make some flying changes, but will have more time to implement their plans from here on.
That's quarter time. Lucas Holmes and I, David Redden, will be back with you with Kendall Clausen shortly for the start of the second quarter. Happy? Lucas, you happy?
Yeah, the pumps are no good.
Yeah. So sorry, guys. We don't have any solos.
That's all right, Spine's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Just pick with Liz.
To Nelson by 7. Gosford can't afford them, surely. Up. I think can't afford them. It's Eastern's final. I'll give you some scores when we're ready.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Do you want us just to press the buttons ourselves when we're ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Back with you just before the start of the second quarter, some remarkable scores. Wyong Lakes 8-4-52, Lucas. Wilson Bay 1-1-7. Cardiff 3-6-24, Maitland 1 straight 6. Singleton 3-2-20 at Rose Point Park. Kalanivar 1-1-7. Singleton going along quite nicely, thank you very much at the moment. And Warners Bay will be very pleased they did the business last week. Lucas Holmes, Sam Rumble's got the tape back on his head and it looks like he's ready to go back out there and play. Those children have got to get off the ground. They are now.
Second quarter underway here. Ryan Stanton with the football. And off we go. Gibbs starting on the ball this time. Gets a nice left-handed tap down. Garrett's in and under there. So is Vo. Vo extracts the ball, goes deep Inside forward 50 and a fast start. Mark taken out in the lead there. In fact, that's Garrett there with that left foot kicking style. Goes over the top. Terrigal Avoca once again, 3 players that drop of the football. And they're out here too in Grimmond. Can he find him? No, he can't. Gets that on the half volley. Terrific pick up in front of Smith. Grimmond goes through the corridor. Over the top of Van Dam. Neil gets a horrible bounce and tries to trap it down. Close the ball on the ground as Neil. So does Shipley though. Keeps it in front of himself to Shipley. Gets it back to Grimmond. Grimmond goes around the corner inside forward 50. Who's there? Harper. He's got Deverell for company this quarter. A bit of a change. Does well to keep his feet. Does Deverell in the end. And tries to trap the ball in for a stoppage. And that's what he gets.
Lucas, just quickly while we've got a short break. Terrigal Avoca, if they're smart, will try and should bomb it to Harper. If he's going to be one out with Lachlan Deverell, you'd surely give it to tell you guys to bomb it to him.
Yeah. Very good intercept mark is Deverell normally, but will be outsized if it's going to be a contested one-on-one. Slipped over in the end as Creswell, so that shouldn't be holding the ball, and it isn't. Might be it looked like he slipped over there, so I'm not sure though. It might be slightly slippery still with that little bit of rain we've had during the week.
According to the players, the ground, other than the squares, in pretty good nick.
So it's an interesting one. Belbin will try and shark this. Can't quite get there. Vo is in and under. Gets dragged off the football. Deep inside forward 50. Over the back. Harper gets a touch.
Brilliantly.
Yep.
Yeah, that was clever. Lucas the score. Terrigal Avoca 2-4-16. Warners Bay 2 straight 12. 1 3/4 minutes gone. Tracy, what's it like underfoot, the actual playing surface, other than the square? It's okay. So, Warners Bay women's coach. Oh, what a screamer! Sorry. I do beg your pardon. Lachlan White has just taken an absolute screamer. Just speaking to Tracy Baker, the Warners Bay women's coach, and she was explaining that the ground is hard underfoot. Very solid. Of course, the square's harder than a cat's head. And you go. That's a free kick to Bishop, I
and the forward pocket as well. But I don't think Bishop will have the distance, but I don't think he'll try and take the shot anyway. He'll try and wait for it.
He'll wait.
Yeah, he'll pull this. In fact, it's more of a chip this time. Leading out there, another nearly contested mark as well. Back to this outer side, so I'll go back to the screen. Deverell goes inside forward 50 and goes short to his brother. Corey goes square this time. Picked off Fleming. That's very dangerous. Oh, but unlucky for Fleming. Tried to pick the ball up off the front of his boot and goes out of bounds.
In front of the old boy.
In front of the old boys there. Colin Goodenough will take this boundary throwing deep inside Terrigal Avoca's forward 50. Goes Bury. No, in fact, it was Polglaze in front. Like, trying to keep this ball in. Here's Creswell in and under. What can they do here? There's a number of plays. The ball, in front of the ball rather, and Lachlan Deverell will keep that one in for a ball up right in front of the goals there. Terrigal Avoca's attacking end. Gibbs will have to try and tap this back in board. What can they do? There's a kick there. Has it gone through? No. Goes in board. Goes inside. Warners Bay trying to attack the forward 50, and he's taking the player on and gets tackled.
Chris Bishop. Oh, Lucas has you're right there, mate. You okay? Chris Bishop, an effective tackle, as Lucas alluded to, trying to take a player on. And Bishop, not on his natural side, should put this through. Finishes beautifully, this Chris Bishop, and looks at the crowd who are giving it to him. Just turns around and has a quick, and no one says a word. Lovely goal, lovely finish to Chris Bishop there. Chris Bishop finishes that one. Terrigal Avoca 3-4-22. Warners Bay 2 straight 12. With thanks to our major sponsor, Hunter Havel and Brian Hilton Havel at North Gosford. Sam Rumble about to come back onto the field, which is great for Warners Bay. So Warners Bay back to 21 fit players to choose from. I'd imagine that he'll go back and go near Harper. Sorensen seems to have gone. Yeah, see, here's the sizing problem, Lucas. Harper and Polglaze are being matched up by Lachlan Deverell and Ryan Sorensen, and between them they're giving about a 9 inches away between the two of them. So that's something that can be exposed while Sam Rumble's standing in front of us.
Creswell's gone into the middle as well, which is an interesting one for Terrigal Avoca. Match out with Vo. Vo takes on one tackle, gets a handball out, luckily. Roaches at Jake.
Oh, shoulder.
Football as well, but can't quite get there. Appeals for a hard tackle, not paid by umpire Stewart. One of the secondary ball-ups to the centre squares. Circles, rather. Bury gets that one out. Smothered. Corey Deverell will have him for pace. Can't quite get there, but it's been locked in, so we should have a ball up again. Indeed we do. Just inside the centre square. Slightly advantaging Warners Bay here. Smiths are unattended on this outer side. If they can get the ball to him, he almost gets there. Deverell in and under again is wrapped up.
Gibbs is giving his followers some quality ball here. That's 3 or 4 in a row, and they're reading his left-hand taps here, Lucas.
This one will go back. Parity in that time though. Vo's in and under. Grimmon's at the back. Uses the outside of his boot. Belbin will have Hoffa speed, but that's not the contest we're looking at here. Bond gets taken over the line. Keeps the ball in, however. Deverell does well to keep his feet and impact the contest. Gets a fend off on Belbin, which is very hard to do. This is a very interesting ball. Can they get there? They can. Vo gets to it on the half volley. Goes back to where it's come from. This is going to go almost hit us here in the commentary position. And they'll be out in a full free kick here. Going the way, once the mark's set properly. Oh no, they've called a play on, so he's allowed that.
Oh.
And once again, great ball movement. One kick and a low spearing ball into Shortall, David.
Oh, wasn't that exquisite to watch Lucas Holmes from a pure football perspective? The delivery is just immaculate from a vastly experienced player in Chris Bishop.
Shortall
Goes short.
indeed he does. Is that Billings on the outer side there?
Yes, Lucas, it is.
Fine Billings. You can just see the 50 here, so he's about to walk onto the 50 now. So that's going to be about a 35-40 metre kick on the favoured side for a left footer, in which Corey Billings is.
Downey's reversed his stance on the mark and is standing with his backside towards Billings. Downey, an interesting character.
Just pulled to the near side.
The score check, Lucas. Terrigal Avoca 3-5-23. Warners Bay 2 straight 12.
Corbin Bond standing the mark. Try turn that jump and change of 3. Standing in the pocket alongside Lachlan Deverell. And it'll be Downing once again with this kick out. Downing rolls on his right boot. He'll go long down the line. This will end up nearer to us. Great contest there at the bottom of the football. Belbin's in and under. So is Tylee. Tylee gets the ball. Bishop's there also. Surveying Vo. That's a late and high hit, so it's going to be a Warners Bay free kick advantage. Goes low and long. Speaking of long kicks, that's exactly what Jake Roach brings to this Bulldogs lineup. Expertly tapped out there. Terrigal Avoca need the time to set up their defensive structures, which they do so well. And that buys them enough time, and with the boundary throw-in will buy them even more time in front of Cooper Garrett there.
And as Lucas Holmes explained last week, the reason that Jake Roach was allowed to play on is it was continuous. The play hadn't stopped. Jake Roach took it immediately, and therefore the advantage was continuous. Does that sound right, Lucas Holmes, if I've listened correctly?
Indeed, you have, David. Dylan Walshall gets that tap down. So they've got about 3 ruckmen they can rotate through their Warners Bay, and they've got a holding the ball free kick now. Ball back on the full to Corey Deverell. Ma here on the... is that going to be 50?
No, he didn't get him. He wasn't at any stage, Lucas, on his angle.
Okay.
And the field umpire, I think Parsons, was motioning with his left hand, and he still stayed over there.
Okay, so that'll go back around onto his angle now. We are able to resume his kicking style. As Harper comes to the boundary for a rest. Exchange for Peter Van Dam, and the kick taken. Luke Roach on a lead out. Marks on his chest, and this distance will not have an issue for Luke Roach. We'll kick from about 35 to 40 metres out, almost directly in front of goal here to give Warners Bay within a goal. I've seen Luke Roach do some wondrous things on Old Boys days before. What's he going to do now? Keeps it 3/4 post high and kicks it straight through. Third goal for Warners Bay, and he's first for the day for Luke Roach. Warners Bay 3 straight 18, trailing Terrigal Avoca 3-5-23.
Looking for a feature pack. God, I'll start again, Louis. How's that? Looking for a feature-packed premium SUV for your family? Check out Hunter Havel Maitland and Brian Hilton Havel North Gosford for their range of affordable SUVs. Book your test drive today.
Thank you, David. And back to the middle we go. They needed that steady at Warners Bay. That's what they got through one of their captains in Luke Roach. Gets them well and truly back into this contest this afternoon. It's going to be able, if Warners Bay can play competitively for Terrigal Avoca for 4 quarters, I think is going to be the question asked later on, David.
Yes, mate. Correct.
Walsh Hall gets that one down, just gets it in favour. To the outer side, here we go. Long inside forward 50. There's a whistle.
Downfield, I reckon, Louis.
And there's that discipline once again, David, called into question. So there's a downfield free kick.
Get in the gap there, Dev.
Can't quite tell who that is there. Right, free kick goes on, goes into the pocket. Leading the chase there is Rumble. Bonds at the ground, gets a handball out to Polglaze. Can't quite find Polglaze. Steps one, does Sorensen. Gets a quick scrubby kick out. And
That's not 15. And why that was... They had to stick with the mistake. Surely they had to stick with that mistake. I'm sorry. That's an error. And I'm just waiting on the boundary. I'm not sure if it's out of bounds or a behind, Louis. It's a behind. That is bizarre. Once the whistle had been blown, that should have been given a mark. Marty Ryman not happy in the background. He's got every right not to be. Lucas James home.
Thank you. Downing takes one bounce from the kick out. We'll go long. He's looking for Gilmore, I think, David, and that's where he goes. Gibbons is also there. Mays at the back if he can pick this up. Crash ball created there by Polglaze. Sticks the following tackle, does Polglaze as well. And he's paid holding the football as well. No genuine attempt. Going the way of Bury.
Again, I'm agreeing with Marty. I'm not sure if there's prior there. It's a very good tackle, Lucas. Don't get me wrong.
Switches it in board, just Bury.
Fleming.
Goes to Fleming. Fleming uses the outer side. Great kick. Great ball user is Fleming.
A vastly experienced footballer in Shorthall knew where to be, Lucas, did he not?
He did. Kick to the space as well, inviting Shorthall to lead to that football.
Colleague of Drew Petrie's, Lucas.
Indeed. Shorter goes long and high inside forward 50. Who's he looking for? White's at the for the football, but intercept mark taken there by Jack Downing.
That's a great mark from coming from a third or fourth in line and crashed the pack and took a screamer.
It's been good today for Warners Bay. Downing is going to switch this ball, needs to keep it low. Goes to Crowley. Gibbons is there, ignores him. Crowley finds Walsh Hall. Will try and get the hands, I think, in board if he can. He gets ignored, goes long and high. They've got a 2-on-1 here. Marr actually does very well to keep his feet at the back. Garrett marauding through the middle. Who is that there? It's Warner. Goes back on his right, plays on, and is in massively trouble here. That should be paid holding the football and is. Spun into trouble, Riley Warner. Probably advised not to do that. Mustn't have been talk there. Flint goes short. Grimmon's here if he can find him. White. Lachlan goes around on his right boot. Bounce evades Billings. Warner's in and under trying to make his up for his mistake before. Harper gets dragged out off the football. Rumble's there. Can't quite get there. He goes inside to Turner. Turner gets a nice flight to that football. Can he mark it? That's going to be a very difficult ball to mark. Goes over his shoulder. Gets disposed of after the football. Not paid. Shortall does well to get its disposal out. Goes off the ground to Shortall. Gets smothered there by Sorensen. And that sees the football out of bounds, about 25 or 30 metres out from Terrigal Avoca's attacking goal with about 13 and a half minutes gone here in this second quarter, David.
Yep, good crowd here on Old Ball Australia. It's a lovely day and there's a very good crowd, vocal crowd. And if Warners Bay can stay in this, that crowd might be really useful to them in the second half. But as Lucas has pointed out, it's Warners Bay's second half that's the problem. Not the first, and it's not the skill level. It's just a bit of stamina and physique.
Bishop goes to Shipley. Shipley goes long and high inside forward 50. Intercepted by Crowley. Crowley now looking for the switch. Very risky kick, but May's on, and he finds him running off his Gibbons. Immediately gives it. Might take one bounce to his Gibbons. Does it, goes long. Here's Marr. Does very well not to infringe entirely. He goes to 360 to his Roach. Is that going to be deliberate? No. Right in front of us here, direct centre wing. Probably the right call in the end there by David Parsons.
It was close. Yeah, there was an argument. Nothing said by over here to our right from Terrigal Avoca, so no complaints.
Harper now into the ruck. That's an interesting move.
Well, they have no Sam Ellis.
Yeah.
That makes a difference to their structure. And the fact that it Gibbs has exposed them all, Scholes getting the hand of the ball. Warners Bay's in this game because their followers get in the hands of the ball. Payton now back on the ball.
Yeah. Give that one to Harper this time, though. White, there's a hold off the football. They played the advantage. No, they haven't. White's running away.
Ignored that advantage.
Yep.
And that actually is interesting, Lucas. that was continuous, but he was in front.
Yeah.
The advantage is such a topical thing for mine.
Bishop goes square, so it probably shouldn't have been Bishop's ball either, unless... Oh, no, it would have been Bishop's hold off the football. That's why.
Vo held him off the football. Vo's got a tagging roll on it here, you can see.
So Bury.
He's Vo now.
Yes, Vo. Sweeps inside to Luke Roach. Here we go. Deep inside forward 50. Who's the kick to? Mark taken there by Walshaw, playing high half-forward flank. Will he handball the... Murray doesn't. Walshaw sets the ball up. Here on the outer side, there's a pack forming. Mark not taken there by Roach. He's swung forward. Interesting move. Tackle taken there by Garrett. Roach is not going to get out-muscled. Does he drag that ball in and under? Did Grimmond? He's outsized there, and the decision is... It's a ball up. Deep inside forward 50 here for Warners Bay. They need to take advantage of this. We'll go even at 24 apiece, but Warners Bay having 4 shots for 4 goals, David.
Yeah.
Unlike last week.
Wyong Lake's up by 65 points at Tacoma. And Cardiff up by 44 over Maitland. And Singleton up by 13 over Killarney Vale. Lucas James Holmes. Sorry, not at Killarney Vale, at Singleton.
Singleton, as we've discussed on many occasions, are a far different football team at home. And with the inclusion of Sam Brasington as well today, David. So that's a big one. In comes the boundary throw in. Walshaw taps that one down in front. As he saw before, David, here's Roach off the resulting boundary. Throw in! Just pushes it. Warners Bay's first point for the day, 3-1-19, trying Terrigal Avoca 3-5-24 after it's about 17 minutes gone here in this second quarter.
The information we've been given is it's like the Singleton will play their first final, whoever it's against at Muswellbrook.
Yep.
Given that it won't be Warners Bay, I think that Killarney Vale and Cardiff would have serious misgivings about wanting to play Singleton. The form that they're in at the moment, they're just playing good football, Lucas, and they're a danger. In that first week of the semi-finals, they're a dangerous football side for mine. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, they are, David, and that kick-off was picked off there. Kick-out was picked off by Gibbons. He goes long and high. Mark not taken. Roach does well to impact without infringing. Rebounding now is James Hart. Goes back to where the ball came from originally. Jason Van Dam will wheel around onto his left boot, take some sting out of this and go short. That's indeed what he does. Overshoots his player, though. Inboard goes Crelly. He'll look to go through the corridor this time to Marr, playing off his familiar role of halfback flank, which he does so well. Rookie first-year player for Warners Bay, Elliot Marr from Tasmania. Wheels inside to Gibbons. Gibbons goes long and high. Who's he found? He's found Formby at the back for Terrigal Avoca. In turn, they go long to this outer side. Bury's at the drop of the ball. Skips one, does Crelly, goes short. Too short for Jake Roach. Does well below his knees, actually. May spins out of one, spins out of a second, gets a handball forward looking for Downing. Downing pulled out of the football, out of the contest. Crelly almost goes below the knees, I thought. Harper, not paid. Jason Van Dam goes off his right boot, gets some good purchase, and that's what they're after. They exit this forward back 50 for them. Neil stays on his feet, does very well. Jinks inside one, Neil. That interesting kicking style goes across the ball. May does very well not to infringe. Shipley's down at the ball, so is White. Steps inside one, steps inside another, goes outside of his boot, around the corner, in and under. Great tackle, wonderful tackle in there. Does very well to create a stoppage, and that's what they've called, and Rumble and Polglaze are advised to not continue in that. And umpire Stanton will have a ball up, almost centre wing. About 19 minutes gone. Harper gets that one over the top. Well done.
Tunnelling.
Oh,
that's not an advantage! Sorry, I thought that when we'd spoken about it was clear. That ball, everyone stopped. That's Polglaze, and that's a goal. Oh, no, it's just... You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe that that's actually bounced on its end and gone for a bit. Waiting. I'm just waiting on the umpires to make a call. I think it's a behind. It's a goal. Well, goodness me. So that ball must have bounced over the line and then come back. So Polglaze and long goal off for mine is a dubious free kick.
Hoppy first. Hoppy, you go first.
Terrigal Avoca Lucas, 4-6-30. Warners Bay 3-1-19. And that was fascinating play. I couldn't quite understand that. The goal was brilliant. It was a lovely long goal. I think they've got to get Kane Gibbs out there. Gibbs has been in good. Kane Gibbs has been really. Marty Ryman's still not overly pleased, and I must admit on that advantage call that I was mystified by it. If you listen to the explanation that Lucas Holmes is given, advantage must be continuous, and that wasn't continuous. Everybody on the ground stopped. Even the crowd stopped, and I'm just mystified. Shortle takes a mark in front of Rumble. Just got a yard on Sam Rumble as Shortle. That's not a knock on Sam Rumble at all. He's doing well, Lucas, to be out there after copying a significant deep cut to the head. So Shortle, just inside 50 metres infraction.
Yep.
That's an infraction against Leo Vo, I think you'll find, for running inside the 10-metre infraction zone, Louis.
Yep. Spot on, David.
Hey, Ryan, why don't you just give him the game? Why don't you just give him the game? That advantage rule's not there. The 50's not there. It's not right.
Matthew Shortle will come through and kick this. You can hear it in the sound effects in the mic. And Matthew Shortle kicks a goal. Lucas Holmes has, and I have spoken at times about discipline. You just can't do that, especially coming off the back of a goal. Get back-to-back goals. The same as in cricket. You can't get wickets in clumps. When you get goals in clumps, and it's 24-16, it's now 36-19.
Yep.
Yeah. No. The umpire was correct in that call.
Yep.
There wasn't a 10-metre infraction, and you've got to learn the rules. I don't like the 10-metre rule. I reckon the umpires don't have a choice with that, but I just think it almost creates too much space. If you've got 5 metres on either side, that's still a 10-metre buffer.
Yep.
With a 10-metre rule, Lucas, you've got a cricket pitch in length in space. That's for most. Can you imagine giving? And that's what the rules create. Players like Dangerfield and all these great users, and Bishop and Connor Haswell, that sort of rep, you know.
And the hard one with that perspective is when the mark's taken and there are players already in the 10 metre and they have to. That's the hard one.
Out, yeah.
They've got to get out or actively make way to get out as well. That's the hard interpretation from that rule.
And the smart thing is the umpires, if they see players are generally backing out of the area, they let them go, which they should. Hoff in front gets an awful bounce. Luke Roach has been live there. Takes on Delahunty. Can he finish? No, he can't. Superb work, Luke Roach. Just to finish, let him down. Warners Bay 3-2-20. Terrigal Avoca 5-6-36. 2.5 minutes gone to go in the first half, second quarter. Back over to Lucas Holmes with Kane Gibbs coming back onto the ball.
Exactly what you asked for, David, and he's back on. Be interesting to see where he goes. There's Tiley. Where will he go?
He's been tidy, actually. He's been all right.
He has. That was well done, David. Well done.
Thank you.
Over the back here, Rumbles, front and centre, breaks one pack, steps inside, Rumble, gets a smothered kick away. Roach bulldozes his way through. That's physicality there from Jake Roach.
Luke Roach. That's who he was on too. Got to make a fly of this, Warner. Does. Makes a contest. Can he get his hands on the footy? No. Deep in the pocket. Minute and 3/4 left in the quarter. It's one of we spoke about this at Nelson. The difference in us doing different commentary roles is that I've never got the opportunity to see things on the sideline because you're talking.
Exactly. Yep.
It fascinates me how different it is to watch the game when you're the secondary commentator, Lucas Holmes.
It is. Delahunty's at the back there. Can't quite get his hands on the football. Harper can though. Spins out of one tackle, goes long and high towards centre wing. Sorensen and Polglaze, that's an interesting matchup, the two number 7s. Polglaze drags that one back in, actually does very well to keep his feet and regain his feet, actually.
Over.
Short inside to Billings.
Pagan's paddock on Lucas here to our left. There's almost no one here. They're just running into space. Rumble's got his man's on behind him. Shortle separated from him. Can he get to him? Is that Polglaze again? It is. He's having a ping. Lachlan Deverell. Good mark, Coleman. Very good football, Terrigal Avoca. And Lucas, look at the time. Right at the end of the court. This is not an ad. Bonds! And they've left Grimman unmarked. Unforgivable. And that's a goal. Cleverly done by Terrigal Avoca. The score check. Terrigal Avoca 6-6-42. Warners Bay 3-2-20 with no more than... You might not even get this ball up, Lucas. And you could see that spread happening with all the players virtually at one end of the ground. It created Pagan's paddock with only Sam Rumble and the fleet of foot Matthew Shortle in front of him.
It was only going to end one way, David, and indeed it did. And goal to Jack Grimmond. Back to the middle we go. As David said, mightn't get this ball in the air.
Have a look at those 4 of the last 5 goal kickers, Terrigal Avoca. They've kicked the last 3. And Marty Ryman, I know he's frustrated with the umpires, but just a couple of little, and there we go. And that is half time. Terrigal Avoca 6:42, Warners Bay 3:2:20. Lucas and I will have a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back for a bit of a chat.
I saw you watching us closely when I was on. Yeah. No, I think
Lucas,
if you could
Lucas.
the rules around event, yep. So, along with anything else. Yeah, of course.
Swear I have moved.
That'd be a typical Monday morning like match report headline. Yeah. Well, if this was like, yeah, if you wanted to play, it's not that. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Also, I'd be interested to hear it because I would have
How about I ring up?
careful of the microphone too, man. I know. I think it's just because you're leaning over the paper. Yeah. Just a bit. Especially if it's because it's not so much the distance. It's more like where like you're sort of speaking into. Yeah. Yeah. Because there were a couple of parts, especially I think when we just started the quarter, you kind of sound like you're underwater for a little bit. And I was like, but you fixed it yourself, so.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm leaning over trying to look at this.
Well, you are looking at a tiny shitty screen, so I'm not like.
Yeah, no. It's not your fault, mate. It's all
perfectly understandable. I mean, it's a little bit my fault. But
not really.
it's a little bit understandable.
But that would be the main. I'm assuming that would be the main cause of why.
I think that's. I'll always look over at you to see what you're doing when it happens, and then because I think it was just because
You've been speaking at it like 99% of the time. You've been like this, this is great. Yeah. And then I think at one point you were just sort of it's going away. Yeah. And you seem speaking to you. Not yeah.
your distance was fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just that tilt is important. That's all. But like, if you didn't have any sheets to look at, you probably wouldn't have a problem. To be honest.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's probably just that once or twice you need to refer back to something. It's a killer.
But like you fixed it up real quick, so it's not like just wanted to point it out.
Righto, Louis, let's get into this. We've been asked to do something by our EP. Let's do it.
Feel free to talk about whatever else you want to talk about.
You very rarely come across with such. I saw you watching this, and I could see you watching actually within 10 inches of what we were saying. So. Welcome back to Fane Oval. We've had a catch-up with our EP, Kendall Clawson, at half-time, and he's encouraged us to talk, Lucas Holmes. There was a very contentious advantage call in the second quarter that advantaged Terrigal Avoca with a goal from memory to pole glaze.
Yep.
Kendall's asked us to talk about the advantage rule. We had a conversation on air about it where you explained to everybody and talking about continuity and continuous play. There are two examples in that second quarter. One which I think was a very good advantage, and one when I think they made an error, but I'll get your opinion as a current umpire.
Yep.
Jake Roach got a free kick and picked up the crumbs. I think someone got a high tackle, picked the ball up in mid-flight and just went. Advantage continued. I think Warners Bay might have kicked a goal. It might have ended up with a goal. It wasn't to Nick Turner, I might add. I'll have to go and correct that. Who kicked Warners Bay's goal early in that quarter? I've got Warner and Garrett. Who are their goal? Who's their third goal?
Warner.
Yeah, I've got Warner and Garrett. There's one more, isn't there?
Luke Roach.
Luke Roach. Okay. I'll get that number right. I'll go and make that correction now.
Just be able to tap on it and change it.
Yeah. So there we go. So that's correct. Now, that was Lucas, I thought, example of a smart advantage. Talk us through that one over on the far side for Terrigal Avoca, where I thought there wasn't continuity. There was a massive gap. And where the rules apply, please. I think our viewers need to know.
Well, it's a very contentious one because it was at a stoppage as well. So it's very hard sometimes to pick up if it's a hold or who it's to or however who it is, who the free kick's to. So it's an interesting one that they paid the advantage because it was, you had that moment of pause and then everyone stopped. So I think that's where you're trying to refer to where it should have been pulled back and the original free kick should have been paid.
When I ask you for your interpretation of the rules, I made a point for 4 years of actually listening. I'm not the world's greatest listener, but I make sure I listen because you've got an understanding of the rules. Now, I've umpired myself poorly, but that's a long time ago. I'm not in the middle out there now unless I do a quarter with my main Lucas Holmes, which I do later this year. But for mine, your explanation on it being a continuous motion makes sense. And what doesn't make sense is that in my mind, and I'll back off the exaggeration, that one happened on the far centre wings. You're looking at your screens now, it's on the far side. There was, I reckon, a 3, 4, maybe 5 second break with that advantage. Everyone on the ground, the players, the officials, stopped. It wasn't continuous play. I think the advantage rule has never been in the Australian rules, in the AFL and in our game, the game is Australian rules, the competition's the AFL. I don't think they've ever got it right. Football gets it right because the referee doesn't blow a whistle. He plays play on with both his hands and away they go in football. Okay? In our game, the advantage rule always comes after a whistle. And for mine, I don't think it's ever been 100% right.
Yeah, and I think speaking of other codes, how they do it, I think rugby. Excuse me.
I give the old man a cheerio too, so let him know. Well, it's Orange Tigers Old Boys Day today. It's Rachel, isn't it? Yeah, Rachel Hull here from Terrigal, Avoca. We give him a big cheerio, and I wished him all the best. So if he's listening to it, tell him all the best to Joey, all right, Rachel? Good on you.
Speaking of how other codes and how they do advantage, I think rugby do it very well. Union do it very well as well, because it's all at the referee's discretion on how they use it.
And he puts the arm out, and then they continue on or whatever else.
Yep.
Our game, our game's unlike any other game. It's played on a different shape field. It's very different rules. You come in from all angles. As Kendall said to us a minute ago, he said, look, I don't completely understand the advantage rule either. When you ask people who understand the game, and I'm not too bad, I know the rules okay, but when you've got someone who's a current umpire, that's what Lucas Holmes is. That's the benefit of having Lucas in commentary, is that he's a current umpire. Do you think that was the correct, please answer the question, do you think that was a correct use of the advantage rule in that one instance?
Well, from how we explained
no excuses.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was the correct call. I don't think, David, because as we explained before, it wasn't continuous. We thought there was a bit of a lull in play there, so it probably should have been brought back. But ultimately, that was a decision that was made, and you have to move on sometimes, and that's exactly what they're going to have to do now.
Ryan Stanton's someone that goes back over the video of the games that he does on Bar TV, and he'll watch every minute. And he texts me during the week. I get on quite well with Ryan. And he'll say, what do you think of this decision? Like last week we had a decision, there was a situation with a blood bin that Mitchell Knight was taking a shot at goal and had to wait for a minute. And I said, I hadn't seen the decision given.
Yep.
And he said, and then Joseph O'Brien, who's got a crook shoulder, was at the game, and he told me what had happened. So fair enough. But Ryan Stanton goes back and watches. He's very critical, and he'll go back and say, what do you think of this? And if I'm asked a question about that, I'll go and say, I'm sorry, I very firmly disagree with that particular advantage call under my understanding of the rules. Now, Ryan is a very experienced umpire, even more so than yourself, right?
Course, yeah.
And it'll be very interesting. I'd love to go and pick their brain, not at the game, but later on down when people. That's what the beauty of Bar TV does, is it's not just players and coaches. You and I watch Bar TV to watch my own mistakes.
Yeah.
Right, and to see your development to a secondary level. But I watch it to see all the mistakes, pronunciations, wrong people, being a gibberer, all that sort of stuff, okay?
Yep.
Which is quite regular. But I do like to go and watch what's going on. And it's interesting that people will go and look at what's going on in the game, Lucas. Thank you, Kendall, for that. That's great, mate. It's a really good opportunity for us to go and have a chat. I'm still a bit fired up about it, to be quite honest. But, interesting times. So Warners Bay, a three-man bench. Hoff, Walsh Hall, and big man Kanye going out there. Kane Gibbs. And hello, Kanye. Worry about the football. Don't worry about Bar TV, thank you. With Nick Turner off for the game with what appears to be a reasonably serious ankle or Achilles injury. Our chief commentator, Lucas Holmes, is ready at the microphone. Kendall Clawson, our EP, is on camera. My name is David Redden. I'm your host and Sideline Eye. It's a great pleasure to be. This is our third game today on Bar TV. It's the marathon. Wouldn't be anywhere else for Quids. It's a glorious day in Newcastle. Absolutely. You'd be down at Redhead or Dudley Beach today, wouldn't you, Louis?
It would be, David. It would be a terrific afternoon to be there, but no better place to be than to be here, though.
And with that, we head into the third quarter. A big quarter for Warners Bay. Lucas Holmes.
Here we go. Tom Stewart with the ball up. Harper's back in the ruck. So is Patton this time. Quick scrubby kick out from Vo. In and under as he so often does, and does very well. Grimman picks up the scraps. Goes out looking for Belbin. Gibbons is closing. This is going to be a good contest, this one. Belbin steps inside with ease. Goes long and high. Deverell's at the back trying to use his body.
Did you see that?
And that's what he does so well. Yeah. Legally too. Goes short to Jake Roach. And one thing Jake Roach won't do is go short. Even that then was a 25-30 metre kick. No more than shin height, which suits Vo quite well, actually.
Would you think it's fair to say that Jake Roach and Connor Haswell are the best two passers of football in the league?
Well, it's an interesting one because you'd probably take Roach for distance, for length and sort of penetration, but Haswell's probably more accurate in that sense, I would think.
Haswell possibly off his left side too, Lucas. Up into the forward line. Terrigal Avoca for mine showing signs of really wanting to put the foot down this quarter. Creswell in front. Just beats Lachlan Deverill to mark. Deverill coming off his man to try and intercept. And Creswell's going short here. Yeah, good defence there in the long run. It really was. Looking out here for Payton. Gets him on the chest. Who's leading? Garrett's going short. Luke Roach is one out. He might bomb it to him. Bishop coming across to help. They go to Luke Roach. Grimman comes off the side. Typical Terrigal Avoca. 3 or 4 to the contest. They do that better than anybody else in the league, I reckon. Billens, that is a superb mark. Corey Billens take a bow. Under great contest, takes a grab at the third attempt. And actually for a left footer, this is the natural side. You can work this back left to right. There is no breeze earlier on today. Sorry, Lucas, you go, mate.
No, it's all right. No, it's all right, David. Matt Shorter was sitting always lonesome in the pocket there, and Billens palmed him off, so taking the responsibility. Back to you.
It is a magnificent day. There was a breeze earlier, and there's none here now. It is just glorious here. Billens misses to our right, I reckon. Behind Terrigal Avoca, 6-7-43. Warners Bay, 3-2-20. Lucas Holmes.
Thank you, David. Expect Jack Downing to take the kick out. That's exactly who it is. Who's setting up here? Where are we going to go? He might look for Luke Roach to peel off here.
Garrett will have to get moved wide away, which he's doing, Lucas.
Yep. So look out for Luke Roach.
And Jake Roach has got Bishop. He's going to Jake Roach now. He's got Bishop one out there.
Paul Glazer's come in from the side, though.
He did.
Affects it very well, does Paul Glazer. He'll try and hold this in. And that's what he does, but it gets flicked out. Creswell throws it up for himself on his left side in front. Can't quite take the mark. Taps it down. Where's this chaos ball going to come from? Goes over the back to Lachlan Deverill on his left side. Does very well to actually keep that in and keep it from being intercepted. Inside we go. Belbin just thumps the ball forward. And then it'll go out of bounds. Just inside forward 50 in front of Jack Grimman.
That's actually a very astute play by Belbin here. People coming left and right of him. And he's created the stoppage which you've spoken about for 4 years. All 4 years of which you've always said stoppages inside 50 are an ideal situation.
And repeat stoppages even more so.
Especially when you're in front, Louis.
Bottle the game, and especially in a competition like this where there's no time off. You can just try and bottle the ball up for as long as you wish, really.
And big news for you, there is in the finals.
There is, and
yes,
there has been for the last number of years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, our mate Big Was has had the timekeeping job. And there's actually, that's going to go out of bounds to the full, I suggest, from Jack. There's a timekeepers forum being run on the 12th of August by the league. And at that, they're going to show people, talk to them about how the finals are run. But yes, they're going to have a big job in the finals. It won't just be worrying about when a stretcher comes out. It's going to lengthen the games too.
It is. And in the past too, we've had exactly. It depends with the structure for the finals for the timekeepers we'll go to. We'll probably wait till that's been confirmed to sort of delve into that side of it. But there are various different forms in which that can be
and
used.
5 minutes each way of extra time, not sudden death in the first 10 minutes if there's a draw. So it will be 5 minutes each way regardless. Thankfully not Golden Point, which I think is crazy.
So do I. You're not the only one, David. Creswell goes on his left side to Shipley. Shipley pulls the kick at the last minute. Can't quite find Billens sniping inside forward 50. They rebound the outer side now, Warners Bay. That's Downing. He goes down the line and tries to square it round. And does enough to keep the ball out of bounds on the bounce. So it'll be a throw in.
And like Tom McDonald before him, Dylan Walsh, all Warners Bay Junior. Do they go tall around here, Lucas?
They do. They sure do. Accomplished junior player through the Swans Academy system too, Dylan Walshall.
McDonald also played in the academy as well, did he? I'm sure that he missed games from Warners Bay playing down in Sydney.
Yes.
As did Jack Hardman, I suspect.
Yep.
Kai
McGrath.
Come on, Coop. Hold it!
There's some very good juniors in this part of the world. Not just
oh, May! You couldn't! Oh, he has!
Pulled it, David.
Oh, he's pulled it. Gee, I thought he'd done a Luke Roach there, Louis.
We've had some highlights in that pocket in old boys' days, that's for sure.
And interestingly, with the goal we're referring to, Lucas and I were located up and in the angle. Now we're right on halfway, which I think is better to call from. But that particular day, we were right up and right out and saw that ball. It was an extraordinary kick. Fleming out wide. Now who's next? Polglay's on in front of us. Crelly in the slot. Crelly still on it. No, sorry, that's not Crelly. It's Neil that was in the slot there. Goes a little bit of a barrel. Polglay's leading the way. And Jack Gruen actually accidentally kicks out of bounds. Sorensen had zoned off Polglay's there and was sitting back half a kick behind play. Ruckman come across. It's Harper and Walsh Hall. Vogue keeping Bishop company. He's actually done a reasonable job at him today. Artie Ryan, one of the few coaches in the league that really does produce man-ups. One of his best man-up men, Turner, of course, is sitting on the bench. Deverell ducked his head. Could be in trouble. Walsh Hall gets it out. Off to Gibbons. Off to Roach. Goes to the check side. Now, is that deliberate? Waiting for Ryan Stanton. He doesn't say no. That Roach is generally trying to kick that ball forward. There was a case there for deliberate. There wasn't much attempt to keep it in, Louis, was there? Honest?
Probably not. There's also not much you can do in that situation either for the right footer, to be fair.
There are some deliberates that are utterly blatant. That wasn't blatant.
That wasn't blatant.
Roach and Grimmin, Jack's fighting above his weight there. He's like Manny Pacquiao and Muhammad Ali. Vo gets it to ground. Got to keep it in there now. Plays it. Not a problem. Don't worry, ladies. You can always run in front of the cameras. Not a problem. Don't worry about it. Kane Gibbs on the line over here, along with Tim Hoff and Donald Payton. There's some tall timber off the ground at the moment. Of course, Warner's bay down at 21 with Nick Turner's ankle injury. Luke Roach trying to get in front. Ball being held up here. There have been no goals, Lucas James, in 7 3/4 minutes. Back to you, sir.
They haven't. Thank you, David. Secondary throw-in. Just forward from where it came before. Walsh Hall from Warner's Bay. Bury for Terrigal Avoca. They've had about 3 or 4 rotate through there. Both sides really all day, David. Secondary bounce bamboozles everybody. Great tackle there by Belbin. Very strong physical player on Gibbons.
Did you see at the end of that tackle, he didn't invert him. He actually almost caressed him to ground. He didn't go on with the tackle, which is what a couple of suspensions have been in the AFL doing exactly that.
And the motion he used to it was towards the ground as well. It wasn't sort of just throwing him with reckless abandon.
Great tackle, mate, there. The Warners Bay crowd have gone off. They're really trying to lift their team here. They're not out of this Warners Bay, but, again, goal kicking a problem. They've kicked 3 goals in 2.5 quarters. And we're just at the 50-metre line. Walsh Hall's coming to the bench. You imagine the Gibbs will want to get out there soon. Now, it looks like Jack Grimmin is actually manning up on Jake Roach, which is a fascinating matchup. And that's Jake Roach is trying to shake that tag. There's a lot of size difference, but you watch, Grimmin's gone to him, and he is. Grimmin is tagging Jake Roach, which is a really interesting move. It won't be, Jake Roach will fight that. He'll try and fight that as much as he can. Good tackle, Chris Bishop, legal too, on May. 9 1/4 minutes gone. Lucas Holmes.
You, David. Grimmin and Roach resuming their recent battle. Tapped out there by Bury. Bishop was on the move, couldn't quite get there. White applies a tackle, and this ball might come back. Very well done there. Evading the prospective spoil of Polglaze was Deverell. Very well done there by Polglaze, helping him to his feet, actually. Neil steps one way. We'll go long and high. There'll be a nice pack formed here. Does it fly over the back? It does. Shipley's there. Does well to put the shepherd on. Goes to the other side this time was Townsend. Here they go, marauding through the centre. Terrigal Avoca. Their ball movement has been crisp all day. Fleming uses the outer side this time. May have been Creswell. That's Billings this time. They've got all the left footers stacked up on this far side, David.
Belbin's got Neil for company further on, but they've had to hold it up. Warners Bay at least have flooded back here.
And Tyler's in the corridor if they would like to switch it to him as well, but that's ignored.
Fleming. With a helicopter that was ordinary. It was the only part of that was ordinary. Roach is in trouble here. Gone.
Who was that with the tackle? Down?
I don't think it was Jack Roach. Jack Grimmin.
No, it was Polglaze. That's why.
That's why, yeah. And L discipline. Gracious me. You just sometimes wonder where people will learn, Lucas Holmes. Polglaze to come in and kick his second goal, and he does. Terrigal Avoca 7 7:49 with a goal to Polglaze. Warners Bay 3-3-21. It's now a 28-point gap, Lucas, and it's starting to look ugly, to be honest with you. For Warners Bay, you just wonder where are their goals going to come from, I suppose, is the main thing. And that's 2 goals, Lucas Holmes, with 50-minute penalties.
Yeah, it's been probably the main issue all year, David, as well, with the loss of Jack Hardman in pre-season, where he could rely on a couple of goals at least each game. The goal kicking has probably been the one area of concern for the majority of the year.
And ill discipline has cost Warners Bay over the last couple of years when we've been calling Lucas. That's a fact. Lucas Holmes.
Back to the middle. Gibbs is going into the centre this time. Gets the best of Bury on that occasion. Around the corner, Corey Deverill had a lightning start to this game. Has been a bit quieter so far. Ma almost got a high one and has actually been paid this time. We'll go back to collect the ball. Belbin was within 2 metres of Hoff, so that was fine. Ma goes long and high. Who's going to jump at this football? The back was Gilmore taken on the third grab. No, play on. Not played in the end. Looked like he was going to pay it that time, Stanton, but must have got a hand on it late. It was Tilly that time, Tiley rather that time.
There was a case for that being a mark. That's what the Warners Bay faithful are going on about. I'm honestly pushed out, I think, against Kane Gibbs in the ruck contest against Bury. Wide. Was that Dello? It was. No, it was
Flint.
Flint at 60. The famous number 60, Louis. Left foot around the corner. May sitting at the back here. Gets an awful bounce. Away go the Panthers again. Lachlan Deverill read that beautifully. Created a crash ball and a great tackle and a good effort over there on the far side by Smith, who I reckon is an impressive player. Ex-Musselbrook. Driving drop punt in front. Good defence by Tiley there, I thought, Lucas. And away they go. Run. Belbin's on his own if they can get it to him. Grimmin running hard. Away goes Belbin. One bounce. Good chase, Neal. With a downfield, actually. A little nudge afterward. Beautiful to Harper. Shanks his pass. And great tacking back there. Was that Leo Vo? It wasn't.
Downing?
Yeah, Jack Downing's cut right across. Now, this is interesting. This is
Townsend and 51.
Townsend. That's right, I've got him in there. Down.
Yep.
Is he going to go back? Because Tiley's been back here at centre-half back. No, he's not. Over to you, Louis.
Thank you, David. Boundary throwing this time. Deep inside Warners Bay, forward 50. Grimmond.
Too good, too strong.
And in front.
Warners Bay players are not happy out there. Something. I think they're saying that ball was touched. And it's Shortle. And let me tell you, Louis, he doesn't miss too many from this range.
He doesn't. Vastly experienced footballer is Matt Shortle. Should make the most of this one. Shortle keeps it low, straight, and it's a goal. Second goal for the afternoon for Matt Shortle. Terrigal Avoca extend their lead once more. 8-7-55. Warners Bay 3-3-21.
With thanks to our sponsors, Belmont 16-footers, ISC Awards are us, and CFM 101.3 FM. This device is having some problems charging at the moment. It doesn't want to charge, which is not good, Louis. It's not good.
Is it going to be on that wheel again? It may have come unplugged slightly.
No, it's saying it's charging, but it's just not putting any charge in. So I'll change them over and see what I can do. And Lucas will take care of things while I try and address a power malfunction here.
Back to the middle we go. Gibbs and Harper. This tap, if it's going Gibbs' way, is going to go to the right. It doesn't. He gets the roves at himself, though. Gibbs out of the middle. Sitting in front in the slot, though, was Jason Van Dam, as he so often does. Van Dam will roll onto his left boot, goes short. Picked off there by Sorensen. Diswell, he butters up for more Sorensen. It's a fascinating little, almost like a Gaelic chip that time.
He saw him, he dropped his eyes, Louis. Luke Roach is not without a chance from there. Thumpy kick, Roach! Touch through, as you would expect. Professional defence, Terrigal Avoca. Warners Bay 3-4-22, well behind Terrigal Avoca, 8-7-55. 33 points in difference with 9.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. way out wide on that flank. Should be over the shoulder, I reckon, and given. Luke Roach, who's been pretty good today, looking for his brother. Now, I'm telling you, Jake Roach can kick him from there.
Marks on the,
you go, Louis. You go.
Marks on the edge of the square.
He can't kick it from there. Come on.
That's Sam Gibbons. We can hear him clearly in the effects, Mike. I've seen him do it.
Nah.
Sam's giving us the truth.
But that'd be one of the ones where you'd back Jake in on the run, but on the set shot, the distance would be very hard to get.
I still think he's entitled to it from there. He's one of the longest.
Yes, yeah, for sure, definitely.
Because he's on the ball now.
Gilmore can't quite get to that contest. That's White. Lockie. A lovely little use of his body by Short or Bond, I beg your pardon. Away goes the machine. They're running here. Turner. Belbin's running for him. He might give it off to Belbin. He doesn't. Lowers his eyes and hits Bury beautifully. Just a bit. Bury's not slow, and Deverell was flying there, but very professional. James Hunt's just gone off the ground outside the interchange gates. Interestingly, did you see that in front of us?
I saw him once. He'd gone over the boundary. I hadn't seen where he actually crossed.
He missed it by about 2 metres. Not our problem though. It's just one of those things you see when you're on the interchange. Bury, about 40 out. That's going to work a long way and doesn't. Terrigal Avoca 8-8-56. Warners Bay 3-4-22. 17 and a half minutes gone. Quarter number 3. Bar TV's coverage of the HGC AFL. Kendall Clausen, Lucas Holmes and David Redden with you on a simply sumptuous August afternoon in the Lake Macquarie region. Lucas.
Downing goes short. He goes to Neil. Patton's just come off the bench if they look to find him. Guarded by Bishop and Bury, so he's not going to go there. Looking for Jake Roach, will use his body to try and get in, but so does Polglaze and chops in from the side and takes a nice intercept mark. Almost uncontested, really. Polglaze goes to Bishop. Bishop takes one on, goes into the corridor. Well done there. Townsend goes square again once more. Finds his teammate on the outer side. Plays on immediately, chips into the pocket. Mark taken, was it by Turner? No. Intercepted by May. May trying to exit the forward 50, looking for Gibbons. Belbin almost takes a miraculous mark behind his head. Somehow gets that to Townsend. Townsend goes back, and the forward 50 entry to Bishop was superb, and he'll go short, as he so often does. Mark taken. Polglaze.
Just put the foot down, haven't they, this quarter? And again, Warners Bay's inability to transfer attacking pressure into 6-pointers is costing them.
Well, and they're using the majority of their resources behind the ball as well, which is not helping the ball movement once it gets to half forward, and taking the full allotment of the 30 goes to Shortall. Does Polglaze?
Yeah, you're right. It's just hard. It's Riley Warner, I still think he's struggling. All that, he's battling on man for that, and he's not 100%.
Coffee.
So he's going back Warner, which is good to see. But the indication of what Lucas Holmes just alluded to is the fact that one of the best players in the side has gone back. Terrigal Avoca 8-9-57. Warners Bay 3-4-22. There's 19 and a half minutes gone in the third quarter. Terrigal Avoca pottering along nicely. Lucas, if you'd like to take commentary, and then at your first opportunity, would you like to come back to me, and I'll give our loyal viewers some updates of scores, sir.
I can do that, David. Not a problem at all. Downing with a kick out once more. Will peel right. Maybe we'll take a bounce. Runs his full distance, goes long and high. Smith's out there on the wing, goes over the top of him, and will it trickle out of bounds? It does. And we've got a perfect juncture here, so David, I'll go to you.
Wyong Lakes 2012 1-3-2, Nelson Bay 3-1-19, Carter 14-10-94, Maitland 1-1-7, and a very low scoring game at Rose Point Park. A Tim Oosterhoff less, Killarney Vale 2-1-13, Singleton 4-2-26, Lucas James.
Singleton leading the way at home once more. We saw with Cardiff a few weeks ago. Great pick up there by Sorensen. Gets a nice left-handed handball out. Neil jinks inside, goes backwards. Probably the right move. Goes to that man we're alluding to earlier in Riley Warner. Goes through the switch. Can't quite get all of it. Does lucky to butter up for more. Crelly.
Good vision by Crelly. And there's Mars on again. Oh, Luke Roach just had to pop that over the top. He's still going to get a touch, Mar, here. But a good effort by Belbin and a throw given. So really good backtracking by Belbin. Grimmett is square, about 70 metres away, and he spotted him. Can Crowley get there? Oh no, it was actually Neil. Can they get the football over the shoulder? Surely to Rumble. It was Neil, wasn't it, that made that distance so quickly? Rumble's got the kick because he was the one that was infringed with. That's a correct decision there.
Yeah, and it wasn't Neil providing defensive pressure as well. He's played on, so he's rightly to come in from the back, Billings.
Good mark at the back. Jason? Just want to see if that player's left-footed. Yeah, Jason Van Dam. Vastly experienced. There's a lot of them in this football side. Townsend running through the middle without anyone near him. Mark comes in late. Off the side of the shin, actually, and not a good kick. And picked off by Riley Warner. He might have gone back to play loose in defence. Oh, Corey Devil, he fringed with over the shoulder, I thought. And he's hurt that shoulder again, Lucas, I'm sure. He's not. Riley Warner struggling. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Corey Devil struggling. That right shoulder is in all sorts. Billings from a long way out. Misses. Terrigal Avoca, 8-10-58. Warners Bay, 3-4-22. Corey Devil coming off now in the hands of the trainer, who's been the busiest person here at Warners Bay today. And Garrett about to come back on the field. Lucas Holmes.
Hey, David. Back to Downing. Responsibility of the kick-outs this afternoon. Short to the pocket. Neil. First-year player. Jared Neal. Only played a handful of first-grade games, Black Diamond Cup games this year. It's good to see fast-track play development. Speaking of developed plays, here's Belbin to another one in Grimmond. Another flying shot at goal. It's going to go to the right, and the ball's going to stay in. Downing will fly. Get this ball outside forward 50, but Flint might see it coming back in and goes over the top to Gilmore. Gilmore gets a little scrubby kick out. That was fine because that was at the point of the kick. So Formby's allowed to take his mark. Goes around to Bishop. Bishop will square. Is it going to fly over Hoff's head? It does just. In comes Creswell. Creswell touched into the man on the mark. Hoff, very experienced, does well. Slips the tackle, does Creswell. Once again goes inside forward 50. Drop of the ball. Terrigal Avoca plays. They've got one out the back if he can get there. It can't quite. Although Delahonte fakes one. And then we'll have another shot on goal to keep it straight. He doesn't. Not quite off the post, just shanks it to the right slightly. Terrigal Avoca now 8-11-59. Warners Bay 3-4-22. David?
Am I going forward, Marty?
One-way traffic at the moment, Lucas. And Marty Ryan ringing the chain, just trying to get something going. Jake Roach with a really good, strong lead. Covered. Lachlan Deverill goes short and right. Perfect delivery to Gibbons.
Rummy.
Short again.
You go down back.
To Smith. Impressive, slightly built play, but he is impressive. Another delivery over there to Neil. Over the shoulder paid. I thought that's a correct decision, and he's down. My goodness me, the injury ward at Warners Bay is going to be long tonight. Some wounded men.
Is that Neil or is it Garrett?
And Downey off in front of us, carrying a left shoulder or a left arm.
That's Garrett off his left. Sorry, David.
Sorry, mate.
No, it's all right. No problem at all.
Sorensen goes to his right. Is that to Hoff? It is, and the way goes to Hoff. Straight down the line, and a poor kick, really. Should have been interference paid. May. Good tackle. Oh, it's paid over the shoulder. A wayload, Terrigal. They're loading up. Harper's on right in front of us, and that's where it goes. Gets there. Rumble's got there just a bit too late. No, they've covered Townsend, and Walshaller made a big effort, and that is the quarter. So Terrigal Avoca keeping Warners Bay goalless or kicking 2 goals themselves. Terrigal Avoca 8-11-59. Warners Bay 3-4-22. We'll be back shortly for the final quarter of this Black Diamond Cup match between Terrigal Avoca and Warners Bay.
get back where you were? Because it's a good spot.
Righto, gentlemen.
Scores from around the grounds. Wyong Lakes up by 119 over Nelson Bay. Cardiff over winning by 76 over Maitland. I am sure that scoring has stopped at Singleton because just have a look at the start of the second quarter. Yes, so I think that live scoring might have a malfunction. We have Singleton leading by 13 points, but that's only in the second quarter, so that is not possible that that's right. And of course, here Terrigal up by 37 points. Now, Corey Deverill won't take any further part today. He has he's wrapped around. He's got ice wrapped around his shoulder. Warner's Bay down to 20 players now. And just about ready to get going here in the final quarter. What a glorious day, Lucas. Just amazing day. The boys, the two fellas, Kendall and Louie, are a little bit paler than I. They're getting sunburned up here. Oh, Kendall's got to stand out in the back of a ute, but it's very warm. Glorious day. Autumnal sunshine. Sorry, well, winter sunshine, really, isn't it? Autumnal's a nice word. Lucas James Holmes to start us away with the last quarter. Terrigal up by 37 points.
Hugh David. Patton in there for Warners Bay. Harper for the bounce for Parsons. Harper for Terrigal. Down. Great tap work there from Harper. He's been good in the ruck all day. So's Paul Glaze rather's been good as well. Gets a little scrubby kick out. Garrett was leading the charge. Crowley goes straight through to Sorensen. Sorensen goes long down the middle. Great one-hander there by Marr.
Very good.
Marr goes quickly off the mark.
Roach.
Goes square, yep.
Went over his head.
Perfectly read there by Flint. Whoa!
Oh! Are you kidding me? Luke, oh, what? Are you joking? Oh, that is a mark! Oh, help me, Rhonda. I'm going to blow up now. That is an absolute mark. Someone show me a replay of that. That is a disgraceful decision. Over to you, Lucas.
Thank you, David. Grimman spins in through one and kicks around the corner for a goal.
Ryan, are we allowed to have our marks as well?
Grimman second.
This is average at best.
This is disgusting.
This is average at best, mate. You guys have been an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And we're meant to
Terrigal
pay
Avoca
money for this.
extend their lead to 9-11-65 to Warners
You are
Bay's
an absolute
3-4-22.
With thanks to our major sponsor Hunter
This is
Havon,
the most
Lucas Holmes,
disgusting
Belmont
thing I've seen in
16-footers,
football.
ISC, Subway Morrison,
Absolute
Central Coast
disgrace.
Sports
You guys
Physiotherapy,
should be fucking
Tyre
ashamed of
Power,
yourself.
CFM and awards are us. I do not know what to say.
Absolute bloody disgraceful. Hang your heads in shame.
Lucas Holmes.
Back to the middle we go. Harper once more. Although give that one to Patton this time. Jumped off one foot and got there in the end. Bishop's all by his lonesome. That's not very advisable. Round to Creswell. Does well to straighten onto his left and find Shortall. Shortall immediately plays on the half-forward flank. Gets around one. Simpson side rumble that time. Creswell butters up for more. Back to Shortall. Has a flying shot on goal. It's going to drop short. Crelly does the team thing to punch it through.
Yeah, how clever. Crelly was off balance. Bond couldn't use his body. And Crelly went around him and got it through from behind.
And Crelly arguably could have had an attempt on marking that as well. So it was actually the team thing to get through because he'd overworked Bond to that point that Bond was off balance as well. Ball goes short into the pocket this time for Lachlan Deverell. Deverell goes short once more, finding Smith. Natural left footer, Jeremy Smith. You'd imagine he'd drive it long down the line.
Those three umpires are at a standard. I'll stand on me.
And not 15 to Gibbons. Gibbons gets his hands off inside. Back to Sorensen. Back once more to Deverell. Deverell will switch it to the outer side this time. Goes over the head of Garrett, and Neil's leading the race for this. Can he get a right bounce? And he was actually quite clever in the end. Almost accidentally dropped it onto his boot to get some more distance, and there's now a high contact call on against Neil to Harper. Harper will switch in the middle for Fleming. Could go once more to White, which he does.
And again to us. And again in front of us, Formby's on. Belbin goes. They want control. They don't. This is one of the things, Lucas. They try not to kick it to contest.
Yep.
They really make a point. Bishop, did you see Bishop on the side there just trying to guide him to kick it the right place? I thought Formby was on right in front of us.
Well, and there's no need to rush at this point of the game. There's nothing to gain of it from Terrigal Avoca's point of view, so there's no need to chance their arm, really. Belvin tries to shrug one or two tackles, gets it to Bishop. Bishop spins around and gets a nice high left foot inside forward 50 to Billings. This ball bounces, favours Billings, actually. Bond was running off, couldn't quite get there. And the shot on goal sprays to the right from Bury.
It was interesting that Lachlan Deverell was hanging on to Bury and Bond was running off him. He couldn't get his hands through for a handball and he eventually kicked the ball through from behind. Well done, Deverell, but good show of body strength, Bury.
I don't mind losing if you get a fair fucking go.
Short into the pocket this time. Harper was playing loose and then he ends up getting the ball. Was disposed after they disposed of it, Harper. And Billings goes short to Bury. Bury plays on immediately. There's someone on at the top of the square, obviously, and there is. Being one Matthew Shortall. This will be a very tight angled kick here for Matthew Shortall, but he's, as we were discussing about before, with that 10-metre protected zone, David, he's got more leeway.
Except that he doesn't have a 20-metre gap this time. He's only got 10 because the boundary line's close. Imagine he's going check side and he is. He will not be kicking from far out. You would think that a player of his quality would kick this.
Hey!
And he does.
Lovely finish, Matthew Shortall. Very professional, as always.
Third goal for the day.
Terrigal Avoca. 10-13-73. Warners Bay 3-4-22.
Thanks for your help today, boys.
It's been a fascinating... There's been some interesting decisions today. I am not going to apologise for getting upset. I thought that was... I don't care who took that mark. I thought it was legal. And please don't accuse me of being biased. I just like good football. I like football being played properly. And I don't understand. I just sometimes... I suppose that's all you can say, really. You get along with it and move on, as we've done. But if you think I'm going to apologise, think again. Over to you, Louis.
Back to the middle we go. Umpire Parsons once more will bounce. Patton, give that one down to Harper. Bishop in and under his so often does and gets a high free kick late. So the ball will come back to the Terrigal Avoca coach in Bishop. Bishop will go short, almost straight down the line, and it's 50 for dissent. And
50 more.
So it was down. No, so it was downfield, the first infringement, and then it was 50 more against Luke Roach.
No, he's on the ball. You're going to have to just push Jared.
Things unravelling quickly.
Fucking cheap.
And it'll be Lachlan White to make the most of it. And the third 50-metre penalty of the day. Makes the goal umpire work, but slots it home. It's Lachlan White's first goal for the day. That makes 7 goal kickers today for Terrigal Avoca, David. So often do with a widespread of goal kickers.
And with Pete Van Dam spending a significant amount of the game on the bench, I'm wondering if Pete's wounded. We haven't seen him in the second half. I don't remember Pete's name being called once. They're going with Bury and Poglaze and Harper up front, Lucas, which is dangerous.
Yep.
And I haven't seen Pete at all. There's no surprise why this football... Like, Warner's Day's had a rough day at the office.
Yep.
But this is just a one professional football side. Yeah, don't worry about that. It'll last. He just doesn't want to charge today, Louis, for some bizarre reason.
Neil, coming off the wing now, tries to look for Crelly. Overshoots him slightly, but Crelly does very well to make his way back and regain possession of the football. Bit of an errant handball back from Crelly, creates a contest. But all it's going to do is create a stoppage about 50 metres out from Terrigal Avoca's attacking goal. And Crowley's still struggling at the bottom of that pack, actually.
Let's just hope there's not another injury for Warner's Bay. They've had their fair share today.
And they've called the stoppage to the play, which they probably should.
Probably shouldn't.
Letter of the law.
Oh, no, he's in trouble too. What's the free kick for? What is the free kick for? So something's... Dave Parsons coming from the side there, Louis, and giving a free kick for something. I'm not quite sure what that was. And Kane Gibbs is standing the mark. Chris Bishop's got the football. Down at ground level. Belbin stepping through traffic. Ball gets whacked up in the air. Should be a chest mark. That again, that's Garrett, I think. And a free kick given to Warner's Bay. Crowley gets taken off. Luke Roach is just on the bench. Might get this football. I think Warner's Bay down to one fit man on the bench at the moment. No Turner, no Deverell, no Crowley. No, that's Corey Deverell. Yeah. Jack Downing as well. So they're down to no fit men on the bench. Luke Roach thumps that ball across ways, looking for Warner. Yep, that would be, he's not right, Lucas. He would have jumped at that, wouldn't he?
He would have. Outbodied by the vastly experienced Jason Van Dam. Goes to the also vastly experienced Chris Bishop, goes square. A bit of a horrible bounce out there on this outer side. Has plenty of time, however, to account for that and go short into Formby. Formby could switch once more, although this might be picked off by Smith. Bond does very well. Flint's also just come on the interchange bench, so they could flick it to Flint if they wish. He's left it there. Very well done there by Bury to leave it for Harper. Harper's gone back. Looks like he is pointed to goal.
Be too far out, though.
That's what I would have thought, but yeah, and that's what the umpire determines as well. So he goes short, Harper. Picked off, double-fisted punch there from Bo. Did very well to get that spoil in. Flint uses the outside of the boot on top of the square. Outbodied in the end. Out there at fullback was Deverell, and it's Shortall taking the mark. Did very well to shrug the tag of Lachlan Deverell and took an uncontested mark on his chest in the end. And Crelly's come back on, so Gibbs has come off. So there's a bit of shuffling here on the Warners Bay bench.
Crelly's come back on. Wow,
yep.
That's a surprise.
And Matt Shortall for the 4th time today.
Beautiful.
Has kicked a goal.
And our score, Louis, this is quickly becoming an embarrassment. Terrigal Avoca 12-13-85 and Warners Bay 3-4-22. And the crowd sticking at the Poglaze is toying with them at the moment. Just one of those afternoons, really, where nothing's gone right for Warners Bay. Terrigal Avoca, you know what they do, Lucas? They just go about their business, don't they?
Yeah, has not affected them one bit this afternoon. Quietly about their business as they so often do. There's no looking back for them this season. Clearly the top of the table. And really doing so at a canter, really, David.
Yep.
Back to the middle for Bury this time. Roach is in and under. He won't stop. Jake Roach applies a tackle. Gets the ball in and under. And he dragged back in. So it'll be a ball up. Right next to the centre circles.
And we've got live scoring on a phone for the first time in a while because the iPads decided to have a bit of a hissy fit this afternoon. Still got it going for you here on Bar TV. May. Louis.
David May will spin around, feign the handball to Luke Roach. In fact, that's where he goes in the end, and luckily gets it there, just ahead of Grimmond. Was lucky to go the 15 too, to be fair as well. Called to move it on. He's looking for the switch back, but it's not going to find it, so he'll go short down the line to Smith. Goes over the top of Smith and Creswell, applying the pressure late. Patton was dragged down without it after the football, however it wasn't paid. Creswell butters up for more. Here at the back, flight again was Sorensen, legal that time. Roach does well to get Grimmond off balance, and will go long down the line looking for Ma. Can't quite get there. Formby with the punch out. We'll go over the back this time. Ma does well to get the outside of his boot to it, and will keep it in bounds. Actually does a complete leg break and bamboozles everybody and lands in the lap of Formby. Formby to Delahunty. Delahunty square for Jason Van Dam on the wrong side for him. Does very well to body that time, does Warner. Warner has a flying shot and goal, and just pulls it to the left.
And the score check, Louis, is Warner's Bay, 3-5-23. Terrigal Avoca, 12-13-85. There's 12 minutes gone in the last quarter, Lucas James.
Thank you, David. Be Ethan Formby with the kick out for Terrigal Avoca. See where they're going to go. Bury's sitting here in front of us on the right, but Formby plays on the left rather than Formby plays on and goes to the right-hand side. Rolls around there to Jason Van Dam. Can't quite take the mark. May butters up for more. Goes back to Jake Roach. Jake Roach will go with a 30 or 40 metre kick inside forward 50. However, it's been picked off, so the ball's going to come back this way. Goes straight down the corridor. Was that a push out from Gibbons? No. Used his body very well in the end, to be fair. To Patton. Patton goes high to a 2-on-1. In fact, it's worked out for Warner's Bay. Actually, he's Crelly, recently come off with what looked to be an ankle knee injury. He's come back on and got a screwing ball inside forward 50. Great tackle made there. How did he get rid of it? I don't know. Crelly butters up for more. He hasn't stopped. Smelling it hasn't stopped. Harper's been one of their better players for Terrigal Avoca today as well. And Gibbons takes a nice contested mark ahead of Belbin. They could switch it on, although Jake Roach with his ever so often handball around the back, and that's what he gets. Goes wide to looking for Gilmore. Wide kick. Jake Roach to Oliver Gilmore. That's what you want from one of the premier ball movers in the competition.
Oh, that was just superb. And he found him on the as they say these days, the fat side of the ground. Interesting, we haven't seen much of James Hart, and we haven't seen much of Peter Van Dam. James Hart came off quite a while ago. I'm not sure. I can't see who's on that bench there, but I can't see Peter Van Dam at all. Gilmore from distance screws it off to the right. Oh, there's a mark. That's interesting. He must have paid that. Both came from the side. That's exactly what he's paid. He's paid two men coming in there from the side. That's a pretty good, clever decision.
Had a similar one earlier this morning as well, David.
Coming from the side, Louis.
Yep.
That one was bona fide. Neither man was necessarily in front, which is the be-all and end-all of our game. Off the ground! And that's a behind. So Warner's Bay has scored. Warner's Bay 3-6-24. Terrigal Avoca 12-13-85. On their way to yet another victory. And Lucas Holmes, an absolutely massive clash next week. Terrigal Avoca have
Newcastle City, David.
Newcastle City, Lucas Holmes.
Is that at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground?
My thinking is yes.
Because we did the game earlier on the season at Hilton Moore as well.
Yes,
so
yes. And Terrigal's got 3 of the last 4 games away, one of which is today. Oh, that's a barrel. Curving all over the place. Like a Beyonce film clip, that one. Oh, a lovely step, Townsend. It's Creswell, who's been really good, listens to the voice of Paul Glaze. That's 50. I thought he got him late. Got to go around. He's played on now. Payton's actually done very well to hold him up there. He's hard out here in the wing. So Hardy's on the ground. He's over here. He's okay. Moving all right. Bishop almost grabs it one-handed. Gone, I would think. Yes, good decision. Yep. Kane Gibbs, effective tackle. 15.5 gone, Lucas Holmes. It's 61 points in difference. Kane Gibbs, double-handed drop. Gets a lovely bit of that. It's a good pass, actually. Well done to Gilmore. He's looking like he's giving them something up front, Louis.
He does, David. Big body Good contested mark too is Oliver Gilmore. This will go to the top of the square. He's actually had a shot on goal, but it's going to have to work back a fair way. Touched on the line. I think it was by a Warners Bay player in the end, so gone through for a touch behind.
And the score, Louis, is there, all right?
3-7-25 for Warners Bay, trailing Terrigal Avoca 12-13-85 after about 16 minutes gone in this final quarter here at Fane Oval. Ball work to Shipley on the outer side. Takes a nice mark to Shipley.
The umpire taking a tumble over here in front of us, Tom Stewart, and fortunately just taking a tumble when he was turning around. Something like what happened to Joseph O'Brien when he injured himself. He just slipped over. Nick Turner on crutches. That's not a good sign. And just coming back to the bench now, and he's on crutches, Nick Turner. So let's hope for a quick recovery for himself from Warners Bay. It didn't look good, did it, Louis, when he went down entirely.
Tough customer is Nick Turner, so it takes a lot to keep him down.
Oh, Bishop couldn't kick that from there, surely. Oh, no, misses an overhead mark. And out of bounds. 17 minutes gone, quarter number 4. Terrigal woke up in a sumptuously professional performance, Lucas. 60 points. With all the fuss and all the fire coming around, and they've just calmly gone about their business. They're going to be hard to stop, Louis. I can't see anybody stopping them getting in the grand final. Oh, Shortle! Magnificent Matthew Shortle. That is brilliant. And that is 13-13-91 with Shortle's fourth. 13-13-91, Louis. 37-25. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Have you got 4 or 5 for Matt Shortle, David?
I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and 3's 12, 13 goals. Have you got 5?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, mate.
Okay.
So I'm happy with that. 13's right.
Okay.
Yep.
How long to go? 7.
7.
Thank you.
So 5 for Matt Shortle, 2 each for Josh Polglaze, Jack Grimmond, and then singles for Fleming, Creswell, White, and Bishop.
As Lucas Holmes said, a pretty good spread of goal kickers, although Shortle's gone berserk in the second half.
Just haven't had some of the matchups forward from a defensive point of view, Warners Bay, for the bigger bodies such as Polglaze. And
it's been quite deliberate to have Polglaze, Bury, and Harper in the forward line, Lucas. It was Bishop's no fool, and he would have. You're almost looking at having to put Luke Roach and Jake Roach back, really, and that takes away any forward impetus you've got. Fleming goes wide. Sorensen has been very good today. Shortle, who's been quite brilliant. With limited opportunity, I'm not sure if he's been the best man on the ground, but he's probably the most influential player on the ground. Lovely work, Garrett, who impressed. Or is that Smith? Smith. Ball thumped forward. Jake Roach will get this. Turn around here. He's looking for Lachlan Deverill, is he? No. He's gone to Gibbons. Back to Roach. Off one step. Perfect delivery, and I do mean perfect to Garrett. Again, Smith, on my apologies. Neal. Walsh ball. Now they're in trouble. Gone. The machine just keeps on rolling. Belbin goes long. Bury one out with Deverill. Deverill uses his body cleverly, as he's done so far. So many times, though, Lucas, has been noticeable to see Deverill use his body. Roach steps in and out of trouble, gets a handball away. Rumble back there. No, in fact, that's Kanye back there. Luke Roach is one out here. He's going to have to kick it to him. And he's pushed his man out of bounds now. Luke Roach has got 4 men. Can he get a stoppage? Oh, that is brilliant, Luke Roach. He's beaten 4 men there. That is brilliant. A small victory in what's been a difficult day. Wide ball to Tyler, just stays in. Creswell comes on. Sorry, you go, Louis.
Creswell's on off the bench. They could have gone to, but they go more defensive to Fleming. Been quiet today, Fleming, but hasn't had to be a standout. Just one of those role players they often possess throughout their lineup.
And I thought the matchup of Vo and Bishop certainly worked in the first half. Bishop's gone. Oh, for goodness gracious me. This. Oh, okay. Whistle blown early again. That happens, but really shouldn't happen at this sort of level. It's happened a couple of times. Belbin, 2 steps. Gets a 1-2 off Creswell. Puts a right foot step on Roach. Jake. Rumble. Grimmett will finish. No. Ball skills around. Good tackle, Sam Rumble. That is a superb tackle, Sam Rumble, on a much smaller player.
Free kick today?
And out of bounds eventually.
Hey Ryan, just for my last game here, can you make sure we get 1 free kick today?
66 points the difference. Terry Loaka. Lucas and I are sitting here a little bit nonplussed, aren't we, Louis? It's been an interesting afternoon.
It has, David. As we spoke before, really, just Terrigal Avoca going about their business as they so often do in their quiet but efficient way they often do it, and shown today, that's for sure, with all the other things that's gone on around them.
There's a certain element of ruthlessness, isn't there, about them? A confident side, know their weaknesses, know their strengths. And they've just, you said it all, they've gone through their business. It must have been, I love watching them play football. You don't like it when the side you're affiliated with, has a difficult day. That's football, but it is always enjoyable calling them, isn't it, Lucas? They really do provide some really good football. Warner, one out, has a bounce. He might have a bigger goal here, Riley Warner. Does. That hasn't been touched. I think that's a goal. We goal of the day. Riley Warner, that's very clever. Didn't actually get that kick fully, but it's a goal. Warner's Bay, 4-7-31. Terrigal Avoca, 60 points in 13-13-91. The Devils had a real crack today, and he's been pretty good across our bank. He's the player instead of Blinder. Matthew Short of 5 goals.
And back to that point on Terrigal Avoca as well, David, you've got to remember they're doing it without Triple A Elite Davey medalist James Webster, who's been out for the entirety of the season as well.
If James Webster was in full fitness, they would be even money to win the flag. Without him, and considering that City have got Beast who's in to come back, Baker came back today, I think the grand final between Terrigal Avoca and Newcastle City will be one of the best grand finals you and I have called, my friend. I really think it will be. You use the word mouth-watering, but that is a mouth-watering clash. Would you agree with that?
I would, David. And that's the thing, but and most of these sides, well, it's not very often in a football season that you have all your best 22 players on the field at the same time. So it's about managing injuries and form and that sort of thing as well. So, no. You see it with the AFL as well, so.
We do, that's right. Now, we've got a lot of people that, to be fair, a lot of people work shift work. There's been a bit of a scuffle over here at centre half forward. Pole Glaze, off one step. Perfect to a bit of Bond. Bond sits and waits. They're exhausted, these players. 23 minutes gone last quarter. And a free kick for over his shoulder, I think. And Rumble's got the ball in his hands. And we'll come back. Lucas, is that Bond? I can't see in the camera.
Yes, it is.
So Corbin Bond in the wrong pocket for a left footer. And he's going to get an absolute mouthful from the old boys in that corner, Louis. This will be, if he gets this close, he'll have done well. Has to kick it check side. Touched. Goal. Pole Glaze, I reckon.
Yep.
Another goal to Pole Glaze. And you've got him as 3, Luke?
I have.
Terrigal Avoca 14-13-97. Warner's Bay 4-7-31. I do apologise for my voice. This is the third game of footy I've called. The voice is getting a bit weary, Louis. I'm not 100% well, but it's been such a lovely day here today. Always good to listen to Louis call the footy.
Doesn't get much better for a winter's afternoon in August, especially this time of the year, than this weather, David. It's been perfect all day. A little bit of breeze, but not as much to impact on the football, which you so often get here, being right on the edge of Lake Macquarie too.
We're lucky. It was Kendall and I were talking this morning about the breeze. We thought this would blow over the tent, and it's just been an outrageous day. Goodness gracious me, it's a beautiful day. And we had rain through the week, a bit of rain. Did you have any rain up Central West, Louis, during the week?
I had 2 spits, or spitting on the way back actually on Monday afternoon. But there's full time. Terrigal Avoca run out convincing winners 14-13-97 to Warner's Bay's 4-7-31.
And look, he's just the best place for Warner's Bay, and then we'll go into a Subway Morrison.
Best players for Warner's Bay, David. Luke Roach was probably one of their better players all afternoon. Added variety around the ground for them. I thought Jared Neal was actually quite good on a wing. Corey Deverell's first half before he got injured as well was also very good. And Gibbons too, actually. Yes, off half-back flank.
Yep. Look, Lachlan Deverell had a very good game. Who is Subway? It's always hard when you call Terrigal Avoca. And whenever we pick one of the best players, they often don't think that we're right. So I think Shortall's got to be very close.
Shortall's would be very close, but like you said before, David, I think he's just he made the most of the opportunities that I think that were sort of led to him. He sort of, yes, he kicked 5 goals.
Creswell had a good day.
Creswell was good, actually.
So was
Harper was
Harper.
all right, yeah.
Creswell?
Done.
Done.
Yep.
Subway Morissette, Thomas Creswell. It's been a very enjoyable and long day here today with glorious weather, and we'd like to wish you all the very best. Lucas and I, we'll be back next week at Dick Bell Oval in Nelson Bay for the call of the match between Nelson Bay and Singleton. On behalf of Kendall Clausen, our wonderful EP, Lucas James Holmes, and me, David Redden, with thanks to our special guest commentators, it's a very good evening from Fane Oval.